very warm welcome to Talking Dogs TV. We're live here at Shelburne Park, as we have been from the very start, and what a night's action we've got coming up. 12 races here from Shelburne, and we've got 12 from Limerick, including the two semi-finals of the SCS Limerick Oaks. More on what's to come, because as always it's about the racing, and would you believe they're going to the traps for our very first race. So the man who generally is standing here is the man who's calling them home at Shelburne, our very own Ian Fortune. Ian, great night ahead.
Yeah, really competitive night's racing to look forward to here at Shelburne Park. Of course, the two races down in Limerick worth waiting for. Also, some cracking performances I expect in the coming 2.5, 3 hours. So, yeah, stay tuned, and hopefully we'll see some great racing from the start. As you can see, they're in traps here at Shelburne. That's it, all in traps now for the opener here tonight at Shelburne Park. The welcome to Shelburne Park, A1, A2, 525. And the hare is in motion. The runners in 1, Wishful Peril, 2, Move Over Mabel, 3, Ask Yourself, 4, Nitro Hero, 5, Grove Bob, and 6 is Tinnock Solace. Hare now coming up behind traps. Racing, 1 or 2 of them charging traps, and 1 Wishful Peril moves to the middle. That allows 5 Grove Bob going up well, and so too is 6 Tinnock Solace on the outside. Tinnock Solace just showing in front from 5 Grove Bob. 3 Ask Yourself emerges from the pack in third, but 6 Tinnock Solace has a 3-length lead to the third bend. 5 Grove Bob, Ask Yourself, then comes 4 Nitro Hero, 2 and 1 at the back, Move Over Mabel and Wishful Peril, but 6 Tinnock Solace in a good position from the early yards, goes on to land the spoils in fine style for Michael Devereaux. Second is 5 Grove Bob, and 3 Ask Yourself. The winning time, it's slick, 28.79. Tremendous kick-off here tonight. Tinnock Solace winning in fine style. Well, Rob, Tinnock Solace winning the opener. Back to you.
Yeah, we couldn't have said it any better, Ian. A terrific start tonight, and we're going to have a rerun now of our opening race. It was an 8-1, 8-2 on paper. It was pretty competitive. It was fairly level early on, but as you said, Tinnock Solace was well housed, and once getting the clear run in the early stages, there was every chance she was going to win once she took it up off the second bend, and we can see her really get galloping now halfway down the back. She's, 3 lengths clear at the third bend. Grove Bob, in fairness for Liam O'Rourke, has put it up for the majority of the journey, but once she hit the front off that second bend, she was never really going to get caught, and in fairness, the further she went, the further she was going to win, and she's probably won by at least 7 or 8. She struggled with the step up in grade in her most recent start, but she did show that tonight she could be fairly classy, and that's 2 wins from 4 starts, so it just shows you how good she is, and no doubt we'll see her in better races down the line.
Hello.
What did you make of it, Ian? I know you're on the phone to the judge there, but she struggled in her most recent start at this grade, but we saw the real Tinnock Solace tonight. Yeah,
well, in fairness, was only her 4th start tonight. She is from a good family. Patsy Sabbath out of Glenlee. Glenlee has been a tremendous brood bitch. In just 2 or 3 litters, she's already produced the likes of Boyle Sports Bingo, Glenlara Rosa, Glenlara Max. Some really talented trackers there. And, well, this Glenlee pedigree, once they do hit the front, they're generally strong runners, and she was always going to stay there. It was her 4th start, 28.79 tonight. You'd expect her to come on again for that run, especially if she sharpens up in those first few strides. But a nice winner, stretching clear to the escape.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, it's blinking you miss the stuff, because would you believe they're already on parade for our opener in Limerick. So let's hear from Mal.
Followed by the orange jacket, Curtains runner of Charleville, ironically Sammy. Trap 6, Eamon and Mary Murphy run Ardbula Hodge. Those are the runners for the opening race here at Limerick, and a 4-5-2-5, an exciting first race in prospects.
Yeah, thanks, Mal. So we're going to have a look at this opening race at Limerick. It's an A4-5-2-5, and our 3 to follow 3 that we've picked out start with trap 2, Tailor Made Bolt for Michael O'Brien. A winner of 1 from her 2 starts. She won, made all in her 29.36 win in her most recent start, and that was a good improvement from her first start. So she's got good early, and if she can repeat that early pace from last time out, she'll have a big chance. She's a daughter of Bull Run Bolt. Our second greyhound to watch is Crickle Owl Bob for Joe Shanahan in Limerick. 1 from 3 so far. Like trap 2, that win came on her most recent start, and she's only half a length or so to make up on Tailor Made Bolt, and she'll probably need to start a little bit better if she is going to win tonight, but she's most certainly one to watch. And the last of the greyhounds that we're focusing on is trap 4. That's Castle Ivy Blake for Michael and Noel Nash, trained by Dennis O'Malley. Another winner in this lineup. He's 1 from 4. He's a daughter of the Derby winner Log Hill Blake. He struggled in his last couple of starts, but they've stepped him back to Sprint Company on his recent run, and while he didn't win, he ran fairly well on that occasion, so that would suggest that he could be one for the early pace. Sugar Tiny Tiny's in trap 1, the second female in the lineup. We've got Ironically Sammy in trap 5, and the second of the wide seeds is Ardbula Bodge in trap 6. But it's a brilliant night's racing coming up at Limerick. We've got those 2 semi-finals of the SAS Limerick Oaks, and who better to look forward to that than our own Emma Buckley, who is our lady on the track at Limerick this evening.
Thanks a million, Rob. It's great to be here in Limerick this evening. What a card we have for you. The 2 Oaks semi-finals are going to be taking place here later, and we are looking forward to it. But a very exciting opener to look forward to as well. Also, we have some exciting puppy races too, so do stay tuned for those. We'll quickly run through our runners for the first race here. Of course, in 1 we see Sugan Tiny for Mark and Anthony Cusack. And improved trapping should help her cause here tonight. 2 should be moving off a little, and she was a brilliant winner here in March, but look, she did slightly move off, so she could cause a bit of problem for a tailor-made bolt. She was in with Blast Off Ben, who was just a bit of a hot pot for her, being completely honest, but I think she's in a bit of an easier affair tonight. Tailor-made bolt, like I said, not the tightest of railers, but she's a young type. She's small, she's only 55 pounds, but she is very good at boxes. Very inexperienced, but if she can trap, well, you never know. Crickle Owl Bob goes from trap 3 for Jody Shanahan. He's actually a neighbour of mine, so it's great to see him with a runner. Very lightly raced youngster, very nice trapping ability also, and coming through the grades nicely. Will favour this trap draw, being a middle seed. Of course, Castle Ivy Blake goes from trap 4. It's going to be my selection for Michael and Noel Nash. His son Barry is going to be hurling for Limerick this evening, so it's great to see them here. I'm sure there's great excitement, and I think if he can repeat the 131 sectional, well, she should be in with a great shot, that's for sure. Ironically Sammy, another local man, 81 pounds, and look, a nice dog at traps, but the penny has got to drop with this dog just yet. And last but not least, Ardbula Bodge in trap 6 took a big jump from A7 to A4, but we're looking forward to seeing what he can do tonight. They're all loaded, so we'll hand you over to Mal
runners
for
in
our
trap:
commentary.
Sugan Tiny, Tailor-Made Bolt, Crickle Owl Bob, Castle Ivy Blake, Ironically Sammy, Ardbula Bodge. We're underway in the opening race at Limerick. 3 early on, Crickle Owl Bob from 4, which is Castle Ivy Blake. 5 in the outside, Ironically Sammy looking for the run. At the front of the field is Castle Ivy Blake for local trainer Dennis O'Malley that leads. Ironically Sammy's in second, Sugan Tiny's in third. 4, 1 and 5 as they go through the closing couple of turns in the opening race at Limerick. 4, 1 and 5. 4 is Castle Ivy Blake leading from 1 on the inside, Sugan Tiny. 5 near side, close at the line. Ironically Sammy was finishing well. The time is 29:19. 1 for the judge.
It's what a race. I think if we get a better finish tonight at Limerick than that, we'll be doing well. Very, very tight. For a long way it looked as though Emma's selection, Castle Ivy Blake, was going to hold on for Dennis O'Malley. He took it up at the second bend, and even off the final bend he looked the most likely winner. But Sugan Tiny's come on the far side and roaring down the near side. Ironically Sammy, it's desperately tight. The judge has been called into business fairly early, but it's a really good finish. And as we said, if we get as good a finish as that tonight, we'll do well. It looked as though our Emma had started off with a winner. Maybe she's held on, maybe she hasn't, but we'll just have to wait and see. But a really, really good finish, and we're still waiting on confirmation from the judge in Limerick. Emma, great start to the night. I thought for a long way you were going to start off with a winner. Have you held on, or have you been agonisingly denied?
Oh, Rob, I think I've been agonisingly denied, unfortunately. Look, they came away level enough. 5 just ran up lovely to the first bend, and there was a little bit of bumping. My selection, Castle Ivy Blake, came out the cleanest of them. There was a great battle there down the back. I thought I was just about to hold on, but unfortunately I do think 5... ironically Sammy has gone up, but a brilliant winner. Although he wasn't my selection, he deserves full credit, because what a brilliant winner he was here. And of course Sugan Tiny ran a massive race to finish third there as well. The result has just come in. I can confirm that ironically Sammy was first, and of course followed by Castle Ivy Blake. But Rob, back to you. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks Emma. Brilliant start to the action in Limerick. We move on to the second in Shelburne, because they're already on parade. Let's join in.
Yeah, runners on parade for the second race here tonight. The finalists on Facebook A2. One is Square Penny, came from a mile off the pace last week. Liam Comerford for the Take a Chance Syndicate, 3 wins from 27. 2, GD Socks, owned by the GD Racing Syndicate. A son of Law Hill Blake in mixed bid, another one with 3 wins in its card from 16 starts, one last time out here in 29.01. 3, Me Paisley Park for Mick English, another one with 3 wins. This is a son of Patsy Sabbath, Me Like a Lucy. 4 on your card, Valencia Royal, the lightly raced runner in the field, a very well bred son of Kinloch Bray and Fira Mosky, owned by James Cunningham, Morris Jackson and trained by Owen McKenna, who of course captured last week's Shelburne Puppy Oaks. 5 is Burrow Tiger, owned by James Nevin and Aveen Byrne, a son of Droopy's Jet Hoofit Katie, 6 from 41 he's won. And out in 6, Bogger Bella for Liam Peacock, a good winner over Fur the last time. This daughter of Vimmerby and Slaney side Comet, sure to be staying on. Perhaps would want a little bit further. They are the runners for the second here tonight at Shelburne. It is the Find Us on Facebook A2 550.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. And we're going to start with our 3 to watch. And we're going to kick off with Trap 1 Square Penny for the Take a Chance Syndicate, trained by Liam Comerford. Liam at home tonight with his mum watching in. We wish you the very best of luck, Liam. Liam's a neighbour of my mum and dad, so we know Liam well. And this Square Penny showed really good pace from halfway last week. I know, Ian, when you commented on the race, it was only a matter of time before you thought Square Penny was going to take a step up in trip. Moves up to 550 tonight, and no doubt we'll see him over further. But he's got a big chance, and if he's anyway close at halfway, he's going to take plenty of stopping. The second of our 3 to follow is Giddy Socks for the Giddy Racing Syndicate, a son of the Derby winner Log Hill Blake. 3 from 16 so far. The possible likely leader early on, if he can repeat his 2:14 from last week, you'd have thought he's got a good chance of leading. And well, if he leads, he could be pretty hard to catch. So he's another for the short list. It could be all about early pace in the second race. And the last of our 3 to watch is Me Paisley Park, another who ran here last week for Michael English. Michael, of course, has worked with the Hennessy's for a long time, and he's a fairly good judge himself, is Michael. And this son of Black Sea Sabbath, also a 3-time winner from 16 starts, but has been placed a further 8 times, so a hugely consistent sort. And ran well here last week. Caught the eye when staying on from in the feed. Was in trap 3 then, is in trap 3 tonight. And again, if this lad's anyway close at the third bend, he'll sure to go close. But that's a 3 against the field, and we could probably give all 6 a chance. But as I mentioned, Liam Comerford's Square Penny, you were impressed with this lad last week.
Yeah, I was, Robert. When I said step up and trip, though, I thought I meant 750 yards. I'm not sure if 550 yards would be the key to this one's success. If anything, it could be further behind given the longer run to the corner. And the one I'm interested in is Valencia Royal, purely because it's so well bred, trained by Owen McKenna and open to so much improvement. It's an October 19 whelp. No real run last time out. Has a 28.82 in defeat here. On that occasion, it was beaten fairly and squarely by 3.5 lengths by a dog called Legal Thriller. He really caught my eye last week, Legal Thriller. So in hindsight, that mightn't have been too bad a run. And just don't be surprised if Valencia Royal steps forward and plays a big part in proceedings. But as you've said, wide open contest, really hard to pick a winner. I'm just going to stick with the dog that's open to most improvement, Valencia Royal in trap 4.
Okay. Yeah, so 4 for Ian, 1 for me. I've got to go with Liam Comerford Square Penny, and as we said, if he's close at halfway, you think he'd have a big chance. Ian, it looks as though we've probably a couple of minutes to go until they're going to transfer the second race. So we might look back over the last 7 days, because it's been a real busy day on the Greyhound racing front. Obviously, it was a busy night last night, and we'll talk about that in due course. But let's go back to last Tuesday night in Toaster. Obviously, the English Greyhound Derby is looming. I think maybe last night it was a month away. Obviously, there's going to be plenty of Irish interest. You think we've already won it. But there was 4 Irish Greyhounds in action. It was a good night for Robert Gleeson. Maybe not such a good night for the Hennessy duo.
Yeah, but first look around Toaster. It's one of those tracks where you're going to need 2 or 3 spins around it. I know they've had a trial and a race now, but ignore the likes of JT Wexford. He completely missed the kick. He actually ran on well to grab third. Bandicoot Sammy was very impressive for Robert Gleeson, no question about it. Duke de Janeiro did stand up in the opening corner, probably had a chance to drive through, didn't take it. But again, that could go down to lack of experience on the circuit. And Price's Jet, listen, we know what he's capable of. I note that he is now a wide seed. On Tuesday night next, he'll be running in one of the Derby trial stakes. So that's an interesting one. We also see Beach Avenue running from the outside next Tuesday. Things will start to pick up from now. A very interesting runner was confirmed yesterday in Night Tornado. It'll be very interesting to see how he goes in the English Derby. But as I've said, I'm well and truly on record as suggesting I think will be very hard to beat in terms of the Irish winning it. And let's just hope I'm right. Meanwhile, as you can see, the Greyhounds for this second here tonight at Shelburne Park are in boxes. It is the Find Us on Facebook, A2550 in 1 Square Penny, 2 GD Socks, 3 Meet Paisley Park, 4 is Valencia Royal, 5 Borough Tiger, and 6 Bogger Bella. The hare well on the way now for this A2550. And racing off 4 came down on his nose, 2 GD Socks well away, so too is 6 Bogger Bella on the outside. Back in third is 5 Borough Royal and 1 Square Penny back and fourth, but out front and it is 2 GD Socks that sets the pace. From in second, 6 Bogger Bella trying its best to close, stayed on stoutly last week. 5 is closing 2 Borough Tiger, and keep an eye on Square Penny back and fourth, but 6 does kick on for Liam Peacock. It is Bogger Bella, and the way this one finished last week, you can forget about catching it because she's gone clear. Bogger Bella wins well for Liam Peacock. Second is 1 Square Penny, staying on stoutly again, and third was 5 Borough Tiger. The winning time is a good 29.90. Bogger Bella clearly in tremendous heart at present. Congratulations once again to Liam Peacock. Well, Rob, good winner there. Always looked the likely scorer. I'm sure you were impressed too.
Absolutely, a daughter of Imramia, and as you said, Ian, once she was close.
I've no sound. I've lost Robert. I've lost Robert and Dan. I've no sound. Can anyone hear me?
From Trap Rise, and after that he was always playing catch up. But you said it in commentary, Ian. Once this lady took it up close to the pace, she was always going to be hard to catch. And 2 stayers have finished first and second. Now 41 starts, and she's done that in really, really good fashion. And it just shows you if you've got a stayer and they've got anyway early pace, it's a fairly good combination if you like your greyhound. So good start for Bogger Bella. No doubt if you back Bogger Bella and the Bark and Buzz app, your quid's in. Ian, we'll just have another look. I know the phone's ringing there and you're going to take the result, but just heading around the first lead. But just off the second bend, when Bogger Bella was close on that one's heels, it was always going to be pretty hard to keep out of the frame.
Yeah, GD Socks was stepping back up in trip. It had a run over 550 yards, but most of its form had been over 525. And Bogger Bella, we saw her finishing fast over 575 yards last week. And well, if you're finishing fast over 575, you'd expect it to finish fast over 550. So too did 1 Square Penny and 5 Borough Tiger. All 3 of them staying on stoutly, but a good winner in the form of Bogger Bella. Liam Peacock, you'll have a bit of fun with this lady over the next year or so. She's February 18, so she's nearly 3.5 years of age, but she's clearly in fine form at present. This daughter of Imberby, as I've said, before the end of the year, she'll rack up another few wins to add to her 9 thus far.
Yeah, fair play, Ian. Right, let's get back to Limerick, because it's a really good card at Limerick. As we said, we've got those 2 semi-finals of the SAS Limerick Oaks. Their races 5 and 6, so they're not far away. But we've got a couple of unraced races at Limerick which aren't easy to solve. And one of those is our very next race. It's our second race in the card. We've a reserve in Trap 2. Emma, your thoughts on the next in Limerick?
Thanks, Rob. Like you said, it's definitely hard to pick a winner in an unrace. You know, it's impossible to be confident in any of these. Mal is on parade right now, so we're going to hand you over to Mal for the parade first.
Princess. That I Will is an absentee from Trap 2, replaced by Keeper Hill Rex, trained by Barbara Rees Jones. Lady Nash is next up in the white, trained by Finola Maloney, Trap 3. This is the COVID-19 protocols, Open Novice 5 to 5. For Martin Kelly of Tubber, his runner is set. As we move on to Declan Beery, he runs Monard Menace. And Trap 6, Daniel's Corner, for the Dilly's Pups Syndicate of Askeaton, County Limerick.
Yeah, well, our 3 to follow, the one of those, of course, is Trap 2, who's now been replaced by Keeper Hill Rex. So we might give a mention to just Trap 1 when the Trap 2 is gone. That's Oak Tree Princess. Oak Tree Princess, funnily enough, is favoured in the Bark and Buzz app as we speak, so is obviously well thought of. It's a daughter of Good News and Clever Princess, and it'll be interesting to see if Oak Tree Princess lives up to her billing. Her mother, Clever Princess, was an A2 winner in Galway, and this is the first of her litter, so Oak Tree Princess at the moment favourite in the Bark and Buzz app. The next of our 3 to follow is Monard Menace for Declan Beery in Trap 5. This a son of Droopy's Buick and Riverside Annie. Riverside Annie was fairly smart. She was a 2-time winner here at Shelburne, and she recorded a time of 28:37. That was back in 2015, and she's had a few winners already as a mother, so Monard Menace most definitely looks to have a big chance. And the last of our 3 to follow is Trap 6, which is Daniel's Corner for the Dilly's Pub Syndicate. Like all of these, making its first ever start, was beaten in all of its trials, but this one's mother, Are You With Me, was a 28:79 winner in Limerick, also in 2015. And this Daniel's Corner is a half-sister to Hazel Hill Wonder, and Hazel Hill Wonder was a regular at Limerick the last couple of years, and he managed to win in the time of 28:68. But like all of these unraced, and we've got a couple of unraced, or we've got another unraced race to come a little bit later, it's a lot of guesswork. Obviously, breeding goes an awful long way, and as we've mentioned, quite a few of these their mothers have managed to win on the track. So it'll be a good guide, and I suppose if you're in the dark a little bit, maybe have a look at the Bark and Buzz app and maybe see where the money's going, because generally when you're in the dark, the betting is a fairly good way of telling us what might and might not win. So Emma, it is tricky. Have you any inside knowledge on these unraced sextet coming up?
Unfortunately, I don't have any inside knowledge, Rob, but it is a bit of guesswork, and breeding, as you said, goes a long way. My selection is going to be Oak Tree Princess. Her father, of course, good news, is a Derby winner. Her commons are majority rails to middle, so she should favour the trap draw. She is a very small type bitch. She's only 55 pounds, of course, but look, she's there and she's on the rail, and hopefully she can ping out tonight, because she is my selection. Of course, we see Keeper Hill Rex for Barbara Jones-Rees going in Trap 2 as the reserve. He's a 79-pound pup, so he is going to take a little bit of time coming to hand because he's a bigger type dog. Lady Nash goes in Trap 3 for Fanula Manoli. Of course, she is just brilliant with retired Greyhound, so it's great to see her with a runner here. Very well bred type also, and a 30.06 qualifying trial isn't bad either. We're going to be going to traps very soon, but just to mention Monard Menace, because he's a local man for Declan Beery, and it would be great to see him with a winner also. Very nicely bred Droopy's Buick Riverside Annie pup. But the bell has just gone, so I'll hand you to Mal for the commentary.
Says Keeper Hill Rex.
This open novice 5-5 Oak Tree Princess goes very wide, and that allows Raththorpe Sunset Trap 4 to have the lead off the second turn. Well, on the back stretch in the bright sunshine from Limerick, Trap 4 lead, followed by 5 and 6. 4 is Raththorpe Sunset for Martin Kelly of Tubber. Trap 5 is Declan Beery and Monard Menace. We're about to go to the fourth and final bend stand side. 4-5 followed by 3 as we go towards the line. 4 looking to hold on and does so.
A really good winner of our second race in Limerick, and it was all over really from the opening couple of bends. Raththorpe Sunset, a son of Tarsna, Havana, and Good Future. Good Future was fairly smart. She was a 28.90 winner up in Drumbo. As you can see from Trap Rise, it sort of all worked out in Raththorpe Sunset's favour, because I think when Oak Tree Princess comes into graded racing, I think we might see a wide seed on her, because she just moved completely out. But heading into the third bend, it looked as though Raththorpe Sunset was going to win fairly convincingly. But at this stage, this is when Monard Menace really gets going, and off the final bend, I thought that Declan Beery's charge was going to pick up the long time leader. But in the end, the winner and the long time leader has done enough, and you can't be getting off to a winning start. Raththorpe Sunset just holding off our selection, Monard Menace, Emma, but it was a good performance and a good race.
Yeah, for sure. Oak Tree Princess, as you said, just moved off slightly from boxes after taking an absolute flyer, which opened the race up for Raththorpe Sunset. A brilliant winner, set a searing gallop down the back, and although 5 Monard Menace was flying home, he just got the job done tonight, and he's a very exciting puppy for sure. He ran a lovely straight line down to the bend, and he definitely is exciting. But Rob, tell me, what did you think?
Summed it up, Emma. It was a race that obviously they're all unraced, so experience goes a long way, and obviously Oak Tree Princess once she moved wide, she sort of left the door open for Rathorpe Sunset, and you really can't give a big margin away in these unraced races. At one stage, you must have led by 6 or 7 ends down the back. But the big eye catcher, and you said you gave him a good mention before the race, was Monard Menace. Probably the best bred of these, and I can see Monard Menace winning plenty of good races, maybe big races down the line. But it won't be too much longer until Greyhounds are coming on parade for our third race of the night here at Shelburne. The action is coming up thick and fast. So Ian, just before they come on parade, back to Toaster last Tuesday, and you mentioned we've got a really good card this coming Tuesday. You mentioned Beach Avenue, and did I see Toolmaker Sydney entered in a race? It's the Irish Greyhound Derby semi-finalist from last year.
Yeah, Robert gave him a trial the other night. He did I think it was a 29.63 trial. I'm sure he's happy with that. It came after racing, so it was considerably quicker than most of the other trials because the track seemed to speed up as the evening went on. But 29.63 trial, and I think he is racing, as you said, on Tuesday night. There are a few Irish runners on Tuesday night, so yeah, things starting to ramp up as far as the Irish preparations for the English Derby are concerned, and let's hope they all do the business. Meanwhile, here at Shelburne Park, Greyhounds on parade now for the third race, the Book Your Trials Online A1. One is Me Hope for Michael English, a daughter of Patsy Sabaton. Me Like a Lucy. Next in the blue jacket you have Tradesman Declan McDonough, Shane Coonahan, a son of Droopy's Jet and Beeves Rock, should I say. 3 Luna Babylon, owned by Pat Wheel and Laura Earl, the daughter of Droopy's Sydney and Ballymac Fifi. 1 win from 6 for this lady. She's caught my eye on a couple of occasions. 4 is Coss Ace, owned by Paula Coss, a son of Droopy's Sydney and Look Lady. 5 is Almighty Denzo, owned by Stephen Purcell and Ger Purcell, a son of Skywalker Farlow and Pine Candy, with 3 wins from 13 starts, stepping back in trip. And 6 is Butsy's Best for Jerry Holian and the Butsy's Boccos Syndicate. This is a son of Ballymac Best and Kalikal Tammy. 3 wins from 9, a good second last time out, and better to come, I am sure. They are the runners for this third race. The Book Your Trials Online A1525. Back to you, Robert.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. We're going to have our 3 to follow, and we're going to start with Trap 1, Me Hope for Kathleen and Michael English, a really consistent daughter of Patsy Sabat. Now, she did disappoint in her most recent start, as you can see, but prior to that, she was very rarely out of the frame. She's a 3-time winner from 11 starts, and if she can bounce back from last week, she must have a big chance. As we said, generally she's really consistent. The next we're going to focus on is Trap 2. That's Tradesman for Shane Coonahan in court, trained by Declan McDonough, a 4-time winner from 16 starts. Generally a good starter, has won here at Shelburne, has won here at Galway, might be a little bit of value, and if you're getting involved in the trios on Bark and Buzz here, he might be one to stick in the trio. He just might be a little bit of value. And the last of the 3 to follow is the most likely winner in my opinion, and that's Butsy's Best for the Butsy's Boccos Syndicate, trained by Jerry Hollian. 3-time winner from 9 starts, a really fine early paced son of Ballymac Best. He's clocked a couple of decent sprints here at Shelburne and indeed at Limerick. He was a little bit lucky last time out. He was forced to check when it looked as though he was possibly going to win, but he starts and he stays, and as you touched on a number of occasions, Ian, anytime Jerry Hollian brings a Greyhound to Shelburne Park, it's worth noting. So it shouldn't be too much longer until they're being called to traps. It's Trap 6 for me. Have you got anything to put in a forecast, or are we going to go quids in?
Yeah, I suppose 6 would be the safest bet, but I'm a big fan of Luna Babylon in Trap 3. She really did catch the eye on a couple of occasions in the Puppy Oaks. I think she's a bitch with a bright future. She will need to sharpen up in the opening strides, but you know, by all accounts, this is probably a drop in grade for her, so hopefully she will be a bit closer to the pace in the early yards, and if she is, she'll stay on stoutly. Yeah, as I said, big fan of this lady, although Butsy's Best, you'd expect him to improve for his run last week. He was staying on well. He stayed on well to win here on March 5th. Unlike 1 or 2 of the breed, I'm not so sure he's a big early speedster. I know he has some decent sprint form in terms of trials, but I think he's sort of just a good all-rounder. I think he's good pace from start to finish. He is well housed. You know, in theory, Trap 5 has been racing over further. You'd expect Butsy's Best to lead that one up over this sharper trip, so he should get a good run at them. And yeah, I would imagine that Trap 6, Butsy's Best, will be a big player, but as I said, Luna Babylon, I'm a big fan.
Okay, so we'll go 6, 3 and 2 for the trio always, if you're getting involved in the Bark and Buzz app. As you can see, Greyhounds are up behind traps now for our third race. We much mentioned Coss Ace, a 2-time winner from 16 starts, and Almighty Denzo, a 3-time winner from 13 starts. He's got plenty of stamina, so if he's on the premises anyway at half A, he could have a say in the finish. But they're starting to load in for our third race of the night, this A1525.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Rob. They're, as you can see, just making the way behind boxes now. Another intriguing affair. It's very competitive racing here tonight. I know we've had a couple of relatively wide margin winners, but they weren't easy to pick out prior to the contest. And I suppose in Trap 6, Butsy's Best here, we probably have the most likely winner of the three races. He was the one dog that perhaps stood out a little bit. But as I've said, Trap 3, Luna Babylon, I expect her to run a big race. If she is allowed to do so. She's in the middle there, and if she doesn't hit the lids, well, she could find herself a bit tight in room. But as you can see, they're all in traps now for this third race. And the bell means that the hare is in motion. The runners in 1, Me Hope, 2 is Tradesman, 3, Luna Babylon, 4, Cos Ace, 5, Almighty Denzo, and out in 6 is Butsy's Best. The hare well on the way now for this third race. Racing, good start by Trap 2. Tradesman leads clear into the opening turn. From in second spot, Trap 5, Almighty Denzo. 6, Butsy's Best, showing good speed to clear them on the outside. And back in third spot, then 1, Me Hope, but out front. And it is Trap 2, Tradesman, that races clear down the back straight. 6, Butsy's Best gives chase further back. 5, Almighty Denzo showing speed. And now 4, Cos Ace moves third, but out front and still Trap 2, Tradesman clear off the final turn. 6, Butsy's Best is closing, but 2, Tradesman goes on to score from 6, Butsy's Best, and 4, Cos Ace, the winning time. It's quick, 28.55. A good winner, Tradesman, for Declan McDonough and Shane Coonahan. Nice winner, Rob. Tradesman, away and gone. That's the way you like to see him.
Absolutely. We were expecting Trap 6, Butsy's Best, to get a flyer, but in the end he's completely missed the kick. As you can see, he's very slow to stride it, and Tradesman couldn't have started any better. I'd say he's probably put up a career best sectional. He's flew around the first 2 bends, and once he led Butsy's Best, who maybe isn't a confirmed stayer or not a stout stayer as some of the others, it looked all over at the third bend. Now, in fairness to Butsy's Best, he's gone down fighting, and if anything, he's closed the gap maybe marginally towards the line. But Tradesman, we said he might have been a bit of value in the Bark and Buzz app. We did say 2 and 6, but unfortunately we didn't quite get the trio, but we're getting there. But fastest time of the night, 28.55, and as you said, Ian, Tradesman, we know he can do it, and when he breaks like that, as we're about to see again, it's a really, really good start.
Really is. In any race, Tradesman racing from Trap 2, as you're about to see, took an absolute flyer from boxes. In contrast, Trap 6 missed the kick Butsy's Best, but he did show good early speed to clear them on the outside. There was traffic on the inside, the likes of Luna Babylon, Me Hope, and 4, Cos Ace, so actually runs well in third spot, but out front, 2, Tradesman has really put his rivals to the sword. He's on by 6 lengths at halfway. 6, Butsy's Best is trying his best to bridge the gap, and he does close the gap somewhat, but I'm afraid there was no catching Trap 2, Tradesman. This son of Droopy's Jet, 4 wins from 16 prior to tonight. He now has 5 wins on his card. He's racking up some good form. That was his fastest run by quite some margin. He'll be up to AO next time, and well, if he continues to start like that, he may well be able to handle the upgrade. We'll see, but a good victory for Tradesman. Well done to all involved.
Thanks, Ian. Right, let's get straight to Limerick, because Greyhounds are on parade.
The Robert Job Syndicate is here of Paul Cooley, and that's as good as new. Kisha Dina runs for older trainer Frank Catter, the whites. Next up, it's Tony Garvin Hill. This is for Ballyneety County Limerick, and it's Representative Kira Carey.
Rob next. Track Rob. Cue Rob.
Yeah, as you can see, Greyhounds have just finished parading for our third race. It's a sprint. It's an S2, S3 sprint, but it might end up having a winner who posts a better sprint time than the grade suggests. We're going to kick off with Firestorm Zena, one of our 3 to follow for Donica McNamara, one of 2 bitches in the lineup, a daughter of 0-10. She's won 3 from 7 starts, and she hasn't been out of the frame in her other 4 starts. She's posted a personal best of 19.15. She's got the draw, and that might be the key to her going close. Trap 2 is as good as new for the Robert Job Syndicate in Nina. And the key stat with him is that his last 3 runs have all been from Trap 2, so he knows what it takes to win out of Trap 2. And he's won in 29.10 and posted 19.04 1910 and 1905, so on those sectionals he's likely to go very close. And the last of our 3 to follow is Trap 4, Tullygarvan Hill for Gerard Gahy, a 4-time winner from 12 starts. And this son of Log Hill Blake is in really good form, having won his last 2, 1912 and 1925. Likelihood is he's need to probably going to improve a length if he's to make it 3 in the trot, but he's in really good form, and 2 of those 3 wins have come in Trap 4, so he looks ideally housed. Emma, it's a sprint, it's a good sprint. 4 of these have very, very little to split on the clock. So what do you like?
For sure, the first sprint on the night, Rob, well, it's a hot one. I mean, 1, 2 and 3 have already raced against each other here recently, but I do think the result could be a little bit different tonight. And as you said, I do think the 19 seconds barrier could easily be broken in this race. Firestorm Exena was a winner out of Trap 1 already, of course. She's a big fan of Limerick, and her dad, 010, is known for throwing fast early pacers. We've seen that in the likes of Grangeview 10 and Magical Bale, of course. She shows a nice turn of foot, and I think if she can lead to the first corner, well, then she'll take it up and win. As good as new for for Paul Cooney, should I say, sorry, and the Rob Job Syndicate. I'm sure they're going to be watching on tonight. Of course, a nice winner on his last outing, making advantage of a little bit of trouble behind. Looks comfortable in this grade and has already run from Trap 2, so it might just be a good omen tonight. Kiss Athena in Trap 3, looking to go 1 better than its last outing, of course. This lady is a good sprinter, but we've seen her over the 525 yards trip already, so stamina definitely isn't an issue, but I do think she's going to need to clear the 2 on her inside. My selection is going to go from Trap 4, Tullygarvan Hill for Gerard Gahy, of course. A winner of his last 3 races here in Limerick, and it's bidding for its 4th consecutive win. A consistent sprinter, that's for sure, and showed blistering pace to win in a 1912 last time out. So it's a nice step up, coming up a grade, but I do think he will favour the draw. But there's a very exciting dog in Fion's Emirate, Trap 5. I mean, Michael Leahy's all the way down from Cork tonight, and of course we have Magical Paw. He was beaten by Magical Poppy, who went on to win in Shelburne. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of pace in this race, and Dashing King for John Byrne in Trap 6. But Rob, your final thoughts, please, on this race?
Yeah, as you said, Emma, it's a really good sprint, and there's very little to split them. It's hard to beat a Greyhound who's in form, and Tullygarvan Hill, having won its last 2, I think might be able to complete the hat-trick, and the fact that it's a regular in Trap 4, I think that could be the key. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the 19-second barrier could be broken, and it might very well have to be broken for whatever's going to win this, because it's an S2, S3 racing grade, but I think we might have a couple of potential S1s or open sprinters here, but they're all in. It's our 3rd race of the night. As Emma said, it's our first sprint at Limerick, and let's see, is Mal ready to rock? Okay, looks as though they're all set to go, and it's a level break. 3 is well away. That's Kishitin. On the inside is Firestorm Xena, who might just get the bend. 2's gone well. That's as good as new, but there's big traffic problems, and that leaves Fion's Emirate, who to take over. And off the final 2 bends, it's going to be Fion's Emirate for Michael Leahy, who's going to scoot clear and win in really, really good fashion. 5 wins, and wins well from 6, Dashing King, and in 3rd might have been Kish Athena. But it was a race that was decided not just at the break, but at the first bend. There was plenty of traffic problems. Emma said the 19-second barrier was going to be broken, and it has been broken, because the winning time is 18:88. A really, really good performance from Fion's Emirate. Only on his 3rd run, and clearly he's a sprinter to follow. We'll have a quick run again. There was 4 Greyhounds maybe going into the opening bend together, and well, it was only a matter of time before something was going to come clear, and that was Fion's Emirate. And once Fion's Emirate took it up off the last bend, it was only going to be a matter of how far. Son of Troopies, Kana and Pink Racer, as Emma said, when you run against Magical Poppy in your first race, you must be fairly good, and finish 2nd on that occasion, and he managed to follow up in 28.95, so he's good over 5.25, and he's a fairly good sprinter. And Emma, if you're listening, what did you reckon? It was a fairly good performance in the end from Fion's Emirate.
If you're listening, what did you reckon? It was a fairly good performance in the end from Fion's Emirate.
For sure, he's definitely exciting, Rob. I mean, 1 and 6 flew out. Firestorm Xena went to the turn lovely. 2 and 3 were there with them. But again, like you said, that bit of traffic problems at the first turn was really the making of the race for Fionn Emmerich. A very exciting type. Drew clear and was a very, very good winner. You know, when you're in with the likes of Magical Poppy, it's only going to be a matter of time before you get your break. And definitely was a very good winner there. But Rob, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, really good race, Em. And he obviously hindsight's a great thing, but he looked the most progressive in the lineup with only 3 runs, and he's certainly a greyhound to follow. There's no doubt about that. I can see him running in much better sprints, and he's going to have to run much better sprints after that excellent 1888. Okay, greyhounds have left the weigh room complex for a 4th race of the night here at Shelburne, so it'll be a couple of minutes or so before they come on parade. Ian, I might bring you back in because we're getting closer to the SAS Limerick Oaks. We're down to 12 bitches. It's a really good competition. We've got 2 really good semi-finals. If anybody was having an outright bet right now, where would you steer them?
We're talking about the SAS Limerick Oaks, is it? Yeah, you cut me off. You cut me unawares there, Rob. Fair play to you.
It's the only thing we didn't talk about beforehand.
That's true. I suppose the 2 experienced bitches are housed to go close tonight. Zabi very well drawn on the fence. She has really come back into herself in recent weeks. Big run last week, obviously, in the opening round of the Oaks. In the previous week in A2 Company. How she got into A2 Company, I'll never know. I expect her to go well. And Scooby Princess is in red in the second heat. I don't believe she probably wants to be in there, but it should allow her to turn close. And the way she's run the last 2 weeks, well, she's going to be very hard to contain. You'd imagine the likes of Ballymacgorna and Right So Bell will attempt to go up fast in the opening heat, while in the second heat, Breton Avril and Clona Sky will probably go up fast in the middle. But no, my 2 selections are wearing red, Azabi and Scooby Princess. Meanwhile, here at Shelburne Park, as you can see, the Greyhounds going on parade for this very interesting 4th race. The runners parading for this RCETS A1525. One is White with Axel for Laura Earl, an early pace son of Patsy Sabbath and Global Liberty. Good winner last time out, he's sure to shoot up the fence. 2 is Croker Spirit, won well on debut, this son of Scalarmy Daddy and Bowley's Ace, trained by Jerry Holian for John Croker. His brother impressing last night in the Champion Open and raced at Kilkenny. 3 is Toker Highway, owned by Phil Lynch. 6 wins from 7 starts. Certainly nothing wrong with his strike rate. He's in August 18, so relatively lightly raced for his age, 82 pounds. 4 is Droopy's Good. Really impressed with this fellow in his 2 stars to date. Owen McKenna for Paul Carpenter, son of Ballybock Mike and Droopy's Cuckoo. He has tremendous early speed. 5 is Our Little Game, a good winner last time out for Pat Griffin, a son of Overlimit, and Our Little Mix, 28.73. He'll need to go faster, I think. And 6 Malog Stormsy. He's been running in good company, out of luck last time. Trained by Graham Holland for Larry O'Rourke and Tom Morris Rowe, a son of Droopy's Roddick and Emer's Poppy. A cracking little race to look forward to. This 4th race, the RCETS A1525. Back to you, Robert.
Yeah, you said a cracking race, Ian. This was the one race tonight I was really looking forward to, because we've got 3 or 4 potential superstars, certainly potential proper open graders here. And the first we're going to start with is Croker Spirit for John Croker, trained by Jerry Holly, and he was out looking the previous race. But this lad was really impressive on his only start today here at Shelburne Park when winning in 28.50.70. He broke okay, but from a few strides he just took off, and he'll need to go faster, obviously, to win this, but he looks an exciting greyhound, a son of Scalarry Midaddy. 3 is the next that we're going to concentrate on. That's Toker Highway for Phil Lynch. Look at this lad's card. 6 wins from 7 starts. Now, they have all come in Waterford. He's won his last 4. His only feat came when he was second to Kamiko at Clonmel. Kamiko's obviously a regular in open grade here at Shelburne Park. He does make his Shelburne Park debut, but if this lad hits the lids and takes the Shelburne, he surely isn't going to be far away. He's been a terrific dog so far for connections. And then we come on to possibly the most exciting runner of this lineup, and that's Owen McKenna's Droopy's Good for owner Paul Carpenter. 2 from 2 so far. He's done all of his winning in Clonmel, but you look at his 28.79 run, really good run, but just under that, 16.18 for the sprint in Clonmel. That takes some stopping. It's the 5th fastest time for the sprint in Clonmel, and this lad looks as though he could be the real deal. And we haven't even mentioned the other 3, but Ian, this is a cracker. And whatever hits the lids here, I think we could be talking 28.30, if not better. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think they'll go on to bigger and better things, no question about it. I don't think too many of them will be open or will be A1 grade in 2 or 3 weeks' time, shall we say. I think they'll all step up in grade very shortly. Droopy's Good was very impressive around Clonmel. He's shown real good early speed. You know, obviously that 16-18 sprint is very useful, as is the 28-79 last time out. He was coming back to them a little bit, but yeah, he should improve. But so too should Croker Spirit for Jerry Holian. And this fellow, 28-57 on debut. Not too many do it. I know the track is going well here at Shelburne Park, but still takes some running to do 28.57. He is very well bred. A son of Scalar Daddy and Bowley's Ace, as we said. His brother, Serene Ace, ran very well last night. Kilkenny. He has an 18.52 trial here at Shelburne Park. So obviously it is a pedigree with a bit of early speed in it. Anyway, Rob, about a minute before the off.
Yeah, as you can see, the Greyhounds are just coming up behind Traps. Obviously, if you want to make the stream pay tonight, there's one really good way of doing it, and that's logging on to our Bark and Buzz app, because the betting's available for all of the action tonight, not just at Shelburne, not just at Limerick, but all of the action all over the country. And of course, if you strike it lucky with a forecast or tricast, the way they've been paying of late, it most definitely will make it pay. And you heard from me and Ian, maybe 2, 3, 4 all ways in a tricast here might just put you in the money. But the Bark and Buzz app, it's the only way to go. So if you're not familiar with it, log on and sign up as soon as possible. Right, Ian, over to you. And it's an A1 in name, but I think it's going to be a much better race down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Runners now being placed in Traps. This is the 4th race in your card. The RCE TSA 1525. Last few moments before the off. All in. And there is the bell, the runners for this 4th race. In 1, Whitewood Axel. 2 is Croker Spirit. 3, Toker Highway. And 4, Droopy's Good. 5 Hour Little Game. And 6 is Malog Stormzy. The hare coming up behind Traps. And racing, good start by Trap 2, Croker Spirit. Now 4, Droopy's Good, showing all his early dash to lead into the bend. From in second, 2, Croker Spirit. Then comes 1, Whitewood Axel, and 6 on the outside, Malog Stormzy. But it is 4, Droopy's Good, on by 3 lengths. 2 in second, 2, Croker Spirit, and 1 third, Whitewood Axel. Something's going to have to fly to pick up the front 2, though. It's 4, Droopy's Good, remains clear around the bottom 2 bends. 2, Croker Spirit giving chase, but 4, Droopy's Good is simply too good. Up to the line, Droopy's Good coming back to them a bit, but will score from 2, Croker Spirit, tight for third. The winning time 28.53. Droopy's Good makes it 3 from 3 for Paul Carpenter and Owen McKenna.
Stuff there, Droopy's Good. Not as fast as maybe we were thinking, but to do that in a race like that took some doing. He came away okay. He came faster away. He's better early pace than Croker Spirit and Toker Highway. But once he hit the front, we knew he was going to build him a big lead, because we know he's got that really good sprint down in Clonmel, and we know he's won over 5.25. It was the big 2 from halfway. Croker Spirit, in fairness to him, has kept with Good, or Droopy's Good, for a long way. He just couldn't reel him in, and as Ian said during commentary, nothing else was ever going to get into this. We've nearly nailed the trio. I don't think Trap 3 is good up for third, but in the end, it was Droopy's Good who's just done enough to beat Croker Spirit. But 2 really good greyhounds and 2 to follow. Right, let's get back to Limerick. They're on parade.
Then by Jack Kennelly, it's Ladies Well. Number 2, Naigani Lad comes in for trainer Pat Curtin and the Dangan 4-Ball Syndicate. Now we're on to Run, Roxy, Run. Brendan Hanley has this one, number 3. We're moving to Gus O'Keefe here in County Limerick, and in the black jacket for him, Luba River. Next up quickly is Michael Carmody of Croom, owns and trains Honey Pound Rock. And 6, PJ Ryan has Clownana Nell, number 6. Those will be the 6 going to the boxes in a few minutes for the upcoming events.
Greyhounds are making their way to Traps, and we're going to have a look at 3 as we always do, our 3 to follow. We're going to start with Trap 1 Ladies Well for the home and away lads. I wonder are they fans of the Australian soap, but this daughter of Makeshift, she's trained by Jack Keneally. I don't know if you were watching on Racing Post Greyhound TV a couple of weeks ago, but we interviewed Jack. Jack's only 18 years old, or 18 years of age, and he only took out his licence a few weeks ago, so he's probably one of the youngest trainers in Ireland, but he's already had a few winners. And this lady has some good sprints, or her mother has some good sprints in Limerick, so if this Ladies Well can hit it, she just might give Jack another winner. He's a young man, most definitely going places. The second we'll look at is Trap 3, which is Run, Roxy, Run for Brendan Hanley, a daughter of Bull Run Bolt and Brickfield Oxy, half sister Definu Storm, who was a 4-time winner at Limerick and has done, in fact, it was a recent winner at Limerick in 28.77. So this Run Roxy Run is most definitely bred to run. And the last we're going to have a look at is the Trap 6 runner, which is Clonana Nell for PJ Ryan in Tipperary, daughter of Droopy Droddach and Clonana Pam. Clonana Pam was a 15-time winner in Limerick and managed to post a career best of 28.77. So is another who is bred to go places. So it's our 4th race of the night. It's the second of our run race, Emma. It wasn't particularly easy to pick out the winner of our opening run race. You nearly managed to do it. Hopefully we can make it second time lucky. What do you like in race 4?
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, my selection is going to be Ladies Well, going from Trap 1. As you mentioned, the young Jack Kennelly is up from Tralee tonight, and I'm hoping that he'll have a winner because this lady is bred by Scissors, a brew that we are very familiar with in the Buckley camp because we had our very own nice mystery. She went 3rd in the Oaks, and she has some very nice litters under her at the moment, Droopy's Biker, and I'm going to have some sleepless nights because she is having a litter to Droopy Sydney very soon. But getting back to Ladies Well, because well, you know, she looks to have early. I think her run around the track in preparation for this race is definitely going to help her, and she definitely looks exciting, very well bred, out of makeshift, who should breed a bit of early into her, and she's definitely one to keep an eye on. Of course, Nigani Lad is coming in for Packer, and a man who definitely knows how to do his dog. He might be in as a reserve, but definitely one to keep an eye on. Run Roxy Run for Brendan Hanley. Her dad, of course, is Bull Run Bolt, a new sire on the scene. He had a very, very good campaign when he was a puppy. There was many nights I was up with Droopy's Wilbury and we battled it out in the puppy derby, so it's great to see him on the sire list nowadays. Lugba River in Trap 4. She's an out of range, so it's definitely very interesting to see the Australian sire popping up on the card, and he had brilliant early himself, so is he going to breed it into the pups? Honey Pound Rock goes from Trap 5, of course. She's out of Monter Carey, and this is her 2nd litter, so it's going to be very exciting for them. She's an October 19, so you know, very nicely framed type dog, and really it could be anything. It's very, very hard to pick a winner here. And finally in Trap 6 we see Clonanny Nell, a young August puppy, another dog by Droopy's Roddick on the card tonight. I'm a big fan of the Droopy's Roddick. Of course, Roddick was a star in our kennel, but I'm going to stick with my selection, Trap 1, Ladies Well. Rob, am I right to be on Trap 1 here?
Yeah, 2 votes for Trap 1, Emma. Obviously, Ladies Well is a half-sister to Nice Charmer for Graham Holland, who managed to get to the quarter-final of the English Greyhound Derby in 2019. And if you're on the Bark and Buzz app, you'll see that Ladies Well is favoured as well. So it looks as though if Jack Keneally's youngster can get any way of a good start, she might take plenty of beating. As you can see that the loading's about to get underway. You've given a good shout to everything, Emma, and as we've said, a few of these are really well bred, but if you're going on breeding and you want to get involved in the trio, 1, 3 and 6 just might be the way to go. All 3 dams were very smart, and they were all regular winners, and in particular Trap 3, Brickfield Roxy, the dam of Trap 3, and Clonana Pam, they were regulars around Limerick, and they managed to win quite a few races and post some really good times. But Emma, you've had a good night in the tipping front so far, so it's Ladies Well for Emma, it's Ladies Well for me, and we're going to join Mal because the loading is nearly done for our 4th race, the 2nd of the unraced 525s at Limerick.
We're set. 1 Ladies Well, 2 Nigani Lad, 3 Run Roxy Run, 4 Luba River, 5 Honey Pound Rock, 6 Clonana Nell. We're away in the 4th race, and best aways Trap 2 Nigani Lad. The reserve out wide is the white jacket of Run Roxy Run. Number 1 Ladies Well is in 3rd. We're well down the far stretch here, heading towards the penultimate bend. The pecking order is 2, 3 and 1, followed by 6. It's 2 Nigani Lad for Pat Curtin. That's going best of all and going very well off the final bend. Is going to win this one in some style. It'll be 2, 1 and 3 as they cross the line. 28.66 Nigani Lad as one for the Dangan 4-ball syndicate.
Yeah, scintillating stuff from Naigani Lad. And from an early stage, not only did it look fairly obvious that he was going to win, but it looked fairly obvious that this was going to be a really good run, because he's flew around the opening 2 bends. But look at his pace from the second bend. He just takes off here now from Run Roxy Run and Ladies Well. This is where he really comes into his own, and he's gone from 3 lengths clear to 6-7 lengths clear in the top 2 bends. And the further he goes, the further he's going to win, and he must be 10 lengths clear off the final bend. And this looks a greyhound most definitely to follow. Naigani Lad, he wouldn't have been out of place in the Conanani Kirby if he was eligible for that a few weeks earlier. But what a debut and what a winning time. And Emma, I think we might have seen a fairly decent sort, and a greyhound that we might be seeing up in Shelburne in the not too distant future. That was very impressive.
Very impressive for the Pat Curtin trained youngster. I did give Pat a mention. He's brilliant to do a dog, and it's great to see him on the track because he is a big character himself. He'll be delighted with that run. I mean, 28.66, what a run. Came out very well, ran a fluent line down to the bend and looked very comfortable going around. As you said, the further he went, the further he was winning. I mean, 3 came away very well also, but just ran a little bit wide. Maybe that's just down to inexperience. I thought Ladies Well gave good chase as well to finish second there. But yeah, a very impressive winner for Pat Curtin, and I wouldn't mind having him. I don't know about you, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely, Emma. I think anybody with an interest in greyhound racing would love to have a share with him. Now, we've got a big few minutes coming up because the next race at Limerick, of course, is the opening semi-final of the SAS Limerick Oaks. But would you believe, here tonight at Shelburne Park, a certain Ballymacbeanie returned to trial action. She posted a winning time, or she posted a time of 28.35 before racing. So she looks as though she's going to be back next month to defend her title. And if you can't remember that night back in November, let's remind ourselves of how Ballymacbeanie was crowned the heroine of Ireland in the Oaks final. She's in trap 2.
Four, Drubby's Curio. In 5, Ballymac Juliet. And 6 is Nemesis. Here up behind Boxes Racing. And Ballymacbeanie off to a flyer. Leads up the middle of the track from in second 3. Ballymac Art. Then comes 4 in third. Drubby's Curio. Swanley Chick up the inside. But it's Ballymacbeanie on by 2.5 to Swanley Chick. And 3 Ballymac Art. Drubby's Curio closing in 4th. But out front still 2. Ballymacbeanie. Drubby's Curio is absolutely motoring but clipped from 1 Swanley Chick. And Ballymacbeanie leads off the corner. She'll win the Sporting Press Irish Oaks for 2020. A brilliant performance by a brilliant lady. The winning time 20.
Unbelievable stuff, and there's nothing better than looking back on performances like that. And Ian, we're going to bring you in because it's great to see champions come back, and we obviously saw her when she won on the Winter Festival night, but she's back. She done 28.35 tonight, and she probably still is the one to beat ahead of next month's Classic.
Yeah, obviously she's been there, done that, worn the T-shirt. We do have a very special group of bitches around Ireland at present. 1 or 2 of them also trialled tonight. Ballydoyle Rossa trialled tonight here at Shelburne Park. She did a very similar run. I think it was a 28.39. Caladriel, who won well last week over 5.75 yards. She broke the 31 seconds last week. Well, she did a 28.79 trial tonight, which would suggest that the track wasn't, flying by any stretch of imagination. So a good run by Ballymacbeanie. It'd be interesting to see if the likes of Ballymac Ariel takes in the Oaks. She's still a potential runner in the English Derby. Ballymac Art has been spoken of as an English Derby runner rather than an Oaks runner. Sing Along Sally, I've just been told in recent hours that she is going to miss the Oaks, the Sporting Press Irish Oaks. I'm surprised Emma didn't tell us. The bitches come in season, so she won't be taking her place. But we will have the likes of Billy's Diva, hopefully. The bitches that are running tonight in the Limerick Oaks, the Scooby Princess is certainly be a big player. And of course, we have a few young ones that will come out again that we've seen already in action in the likes of the Kirby, and we also saw them in the Juvenile Classic at Tralee. So, yeah, lots to look forward to. It's going to be a cracking Sporting Press Irish Oaks. It always is. Even this time of year, you're looking ahead to the Oaks. We may not have even seen the Oaks winner in Dublin at this point. Something always comes out of the ground and produces a massive run. Ballymacbeanie, this time last year, or the few weeks prior to the Irish Oaks last year, she'd only 1 or 2 sort of runs here at Shelburne Park, and she hadn't looked quite like an Irish Oaks winner. But as it was, she improved and improved and improved. And She is very young, Rob. She was only a puppy winning that Irish Oaks, and of course in the Winter Racing Festival night. So, it's better to come from her, and that's a scary thought for her rivals in the Sporting Press Irish Oaks.
Yeah, and it's great to see her back. And of course, we haven't even seen what's going to win the Limerick, the SAS Limerick Oaks. So the prospect of that, and as you said, possibly Ballymac Ariel and Billy's Diva. It's great to have competitions like that, and it's perfect timing with it coming a couple of weeks after the Limerick Oaks. I know they're coming on parade here at Shelburne, but timing's everything, and it might just run in nicely.
Should do. The fact that Ballymacmeany hasn't had a run prior to the Oaks may just stand against her. I wonder, will they try and get a run on her card next week? We'll find out sooner rather than later, but for the moment, yeah, she's clearly in very good form, and I'm looking forward to seeing her in the Irish Oaks. Moving on now to the 5th here tonight at Shelburne. This the Rossyocht Conair A1525 and one Cost Boss for Paula Cost, the son of Druby Sydney Luck Lady, just collared in the line last time out. Next in two is Montauk, a consistent performer for Liam and Debbie O'Rourke, son of Ballymac Matt and Killara Duchess. 3 is Long Range Texas, Hugh Mallon, a son of Greenwell Hulk and Express Slide. 4 in your card, One Cool Baby, Trevor Cummins for Michelle Brannigan. This is a daughter of Droopy's Jet and Rock and Roll Baby. 5 is Minnie's Kursk for Georgie Roach, a daughter of Droopy's Cane and Minnie's Lantern, has been racing over further. And 6 is Kilgraney Jagger for Thomas Buggy, that's a son of Ballymac Vic and Kilgraney Dove. It's the Rossyocht Conair in A1525, the 5th race on our card, and a cracking race at that. Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, cracking race indeed. We'll be looking at our 3 to watch. But just a reminder about the Bark and Buzz. You can see the graphics on screen. It's a great way to enjoy the night, and the racing's getting better and better. We've got those 2 semi-finals in Limerick coming up. The action at Shelburne, the grade is just getting better the whole time. So remember, if you just want to have a little bit of fun, sign up to the Bark and Buzz if you're not on it. And remember, those forecasts and trios can really pay for your night. In normal times, they pay for your weekend. Hopefully we'll be back to normal times before we know that the signs are good. But they are starting to load. Our 3 to follow was Cost Boss in Trap 1, Montauk in Trap 2, and Kilgraney Dagger in Trap 6. He's now got to change the seating after his last win in Trap 6. Likely lead early on is probably Cost Boss, maybe a bit of value Kilgraney Jagger in Trap 6. But they're loading in for the next.
Indeed, they're all in for this next contest. My own choice would be Cost Boss. Just picked up last week on the line. If it leads, it'll be hard to beat. Runners in traps for the 5th race here tonight. The Rossyocht Conair in A1 and 1 Cost Boss, 2 Montauk, 3 Long Range Texas, 4 One Cool Baby, 5 Minnie's Kursk, and 6 is Kilgraney Jagger. Hair up behind traps. Racing, good start by Trap 2. Montauk took a flyer, leads into the opening turn. From in second spot, 1 Cost Boss, who stays tight to the fence. Back in third spot, you have 3 Long Range Texas, but into the back end it is 2 Montauk by a length to 1 Cost Boss, who checks sides, clips heels, and now 3 Long Range Texas makes a forward move to the third bend. It's Long Range Texas. Now Cost Boss goes on again at the front, and Cost Boss leads by a length and a half, 2 lengths to 3 Long Range Texas, queuing up in behind. 5 Minnie's Kursk is finishing fast, but Cost Boss will hold on this week. Second is 5 Minnie's Kursk, tight for third. The winning time 28.95. Cost Boss wouldn't be denied. Back to you, Rob.
Boss wouldn't be denied. You said, Ian, she was picked up late last week. Well, it nearly worked out the complete opposite tonight because she's missed a kick. She followed Montauk round. We're going to see a rerun now, but it looked as though she probably needed to lead. Montauk's got a flyer. We thought if Montauk was going to win, he needed to lead, and around the opening 2 bends, it looked as though Montauk was maybe the most likely leader. At this stage, it looked a 2 Greyhound affair. Cost Boss is challenging, checks halfway up the back. That probably seemed to ruin whatever chance he had, because 3 Long Range Texas then takes over. But in fairness to Cost Boss, has come back, got his head back in front, and they've all come at him off the final bend. And he might have been picked up last week, but he wasn't to be denied, as you said in commentary, Ian. And he's managed to do it the hard way tonight, because a couple of things didn't go his way, and he could have easily thrown in the towel. But in fairness to him, that's now win number 4 from 17 starts. He's fairly brave, and he's managed to do that in fairly good style, because a few things didn't go his way there, and he could have been forgiven if he didn't manage to win. So well done to the connections of Cost Boss, and well done if you followed Ian, because Ian was the one who gave him a favourable mention. Although, Ian, I'd say you probably didn't, if he was going to win, you probably didn't think it was going to pan out as it did.
Yeah, I knew it'd stay tight enough to the fence. I thought it might hit the front off the second bend at some point, but when they did clip heels, I thought that was race over. 3 slipped up the inside, but he is sprint form as well, so perhaps not the stoutest of stayers. And one Cost Boss did gather his momentum once again into that third bend and drove it, and once 3 then was heading backwards, it was sort of holding up his rivals. 5 Minnie's Kursk did stay on well, but Cost Boss deserved it. Ran into a couple of really hot ones, was beaten by Front of Manny 28-11, Dark Devil 28-37, and then last week picked up in his own grade by a neck. So certainly deserved to win, Cost Boss, and I'm delighted for Paul at Cost, because they've been making the journey up the road for the last few weeks, and tonight Cost Boss got his just desserts.
Yeah, just desserts indeed. Right, we're coming up to the proper stuff down in Limerick, the opening semi-final of the SAS Limerick Oaks, and our Lady Emma is going to have a quick look at the opening semi-final.
Thanks, Rob. Well, what an opening semi-final we have here. It's such a strong affair. It was very hard to pick a winner because everything is just so classy. I mean, when you have bitches as fast as this, anything can happen. But I'm going to be with Azabi purely because of her draw. You're about to see her now because the parade is about to happen. Over to Mal for the parade.
3 qualifying for the final next weekend. Two of the quarter-final winners are in this opening semi-final. The first of those, who clocked 28.46 last weekend, is Azabi, owned and trained in Thurles, County Tipperary by Thomas O'Donovan. James Sheehan of Croom has number 2, Tulovan Beyonce, number 2. The white jacket is for Gary Cooney and Donald's runner, Border Electric. Taking its chance coming in as a reserve here, we have Miss Minnie Mull. Now Declan Byrne has the I Can't Believe It syndicates. Ballymac Orna, good winner last weekend in 28.43. Trap 5, Ballymac Orna. And number 6, Right So Bell, is for Sean Corrigan of County Wicklow. It's both owned and trained by Sean as they move now towards the traps for this upcoming first semi-final of the SIS Limerick Oaks, with 3 making it through.
Yeah, thanks, Mal. What a lineup, what a semi-final, as Emma said, we've got coming up. And our 3 to follow, we're going to start with Azabi, the most likely selection. Both Ian and Emma fancy Azabi to book her place in the final with a win here. She's a stunning bitch. She's a daughter of Azza. She was second in the Cork Oaks final. She beat a couple of these last week, which could be the key. And her record from Trap 1 is 4 from 10. So many would say, yeah, she's perfectly boxed, but 4 from 10 would maybe just give her rivals a little bit of hope. Next we're going to have a look at is Ballymac Orna, who posted the fastest of the winning times of these last week in 28.43. She's the youngster in the lineup for trainer Declan Byrne. She's 3 from 6. She beat Border Electric last week, as we said. She got to the second round of the Puppy Oaks in Shelburne. Experience might just be the worry, because this is the best race she's ever run in, but if she hits the lids, the rest better watch out. And then we'll finish off with Right So Bell for Sean and Aoife Corrigan and Aidan Denton. What a lady this lady is. She's a daughter of Log Hill Blake. She's got to the semi-final of the Sporting Press Irish Oaks, the champion bitch in Thurles, and the Cork Oaks. She's yet to get to a big final. If any female in Ireland deserves to get to a big final like this, it's Right So Bell. And the draw is ideal. She clocked 28.46 last week, so she doesn't have an awful lot to make up in the clock to win this semi-final. If she gets a clear run, she surely is going to book her place in what would be an overdue final. The obvious one, Emma, is Azabi. I'm going for a little bit of value with Right So Bell. Last thoughts on this opening semi-final?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Azabi is going to be my selection as well. I fancy her purely because of the draw. I mean, she was an impressive winner last week, and it's just very hard to go against her. But Ballymac Orna, another seriously fast lady. I mean, she runs a clear enough line down to that bend. Might just edge in slightly, but it might be a good omen that her kennel mate is back tonight too. But Right So Bell, seriously impressive last week. You couldn't not fancy her, so we'll see what happens, because we're going to go over to Mal for our commentary.
Green flag raised. Azabi, Tulovan Beyonce, Border Electric, Miss Minnie Mull, Ballymac Orna, Right So Bell. In the opening SIS Oaks semi-final, it's won off to a very good start. That's Azabi, followed by 5 Ballymac Orna. 1 from 5, followed by 4, 6, 3 and 2. The 2 quarter-final winners are up front. One of those is Azabi. The second of those is Ballymac Orna as they go towards the second bend from the finish. It's 1, 5 and 4 shows some improvement. Azabi leads from 5, which is Ballymac Orna. 4 is there as well. Down the centre of the track, it's 1, 5. And also qualifying in third, trap 4, Azabi, Ballymac Orna and Miss Minnie Mill. The time is 28:34. Good run.
She's gone better than she did last week, 12 spots better, and if she repeats that next week, there's no doubt about it, she will take plenty of beating. She's got a flyer. Ballymaccorn has come out well, and I suppose when we see a rerun of this replay, right so Bell missing it always meant she was playing catch up, and she was always maybe going to struggle for the final. But Azabi's got a flyer. She's led around the opening 2 bends. Ballymaccorn, as good as she is, was going to have to sprout wings if she was going to pick up this leader. And the big eye catcher, of course, is the Greyhound who's got in as a reserve. I presume she's held on, Miss Minnie Mull. We'll have confirmation of that, but she's run a blinder, and as you can see, she's challenging Ballymaccorna to the last bend. But it was a 1 Greyhound affair from Trap Rise, and Azabi has made, I'd say, every inch of running in 28:34. Ballymaccorna has finished second, and Miss Minnie Mull, she was knocked out last week. She's got in as a reserve, and now she's in an SCS Limerick Oaks final. Emma, Ian Fortune called it, you called it, and no doubt Azabi is going to be pretty tough to beat next week.
Impressive winner here, Rob. I mean, 28:34, that is just brilliant. She took an absolute flyer, and as hard as Ballymac Orna tried, when this kind of a lady gets out in front of you, she's a hard one to pull back, that's for sure. I mean, always looked comfortable out where she was, and she just wants to win. You know, she's been in great form recently, and just very, very impressive overall. I thought Miss Minnie Mall was a very good qualifier also. She has good 570 form down in Tralee, so she always looked comfortable when she set her that she was going to qualify too. But if I was on Azabi now, anti-post, I wouldn't mind having that bet. I don't know about you, Rob.
Yeah, she's most definitely value now. She was 5-1 throughout the day, regardless of what Scooby Princess or Breton Avril does in the second semi-final. There's probably every chance Azabi is going to be vying for favouritism. Obviously, the draw is going to be crucial, but that was scintillating. And 28:34 at any track, let alone Limerick, takes some doing, and she's managed to improve from last week, which was significant. The Greyhounds are just about to come on parade for our next at Shelburne. So Ian, I'll bring you in. You called Azabi, and from Trap Rise, she was always going to win that.
Yeah, she was. First and third for Tommy O'Donovan, of course. I'm sure he might look at breeding these two in the future. That's what they're there for. You know, he's doing a nice job of things. Azabi, she's approaching her 4th birthday, but she's running exceptionally well. You know, she has been running for quite a few weeks now at this point, and she's staying a lot better than she was in the past. She's been a really versatile performer. She's some really good sprint form in her card, as you can see. She's pretty professional, and yeah, it'd be great to see her going into a big final like this, and she certainly deserves to win one. You know, I'm not going to say she's going to be the one to beat. Who knows what might happen in the next 3, because if the likes of Scooby Princess took a flyer, she could do a 28:15 or a 28:20. But it's shaping up like a good final. Certainly, the Ballymac Ornabitch is also owned by a lot of the same men that own Ballymac Beanie, so it'll be interesting to see if they'll go the Sporting Press Irish route with her as well.
Yeah, and obviously we've got the second semi-final coming up, and by the sounds you're maybe expecting Scooby Princess to go a little bit faster, and obviously if she does, she's going to be favoured next week, presuming she wins and qualifies.
I can't say I expect her to go faster, but I just wouldn't be surprised if she did. Her weak point is probably the first 50 or 60 yards. So, you know, if she didn't get a good start, she could find herself with a bit of work on her hands, especially with the likes of Breton Avril and Clonus Guy, likely to go up fast in the middle of the track. Meanwhile, here at Shelburne Park, runners now on parade for the 6th race on your card. It's an A1575, and one is Lochranza. Francie Murray for Howard Wallace, the son of Top Honcho and Leesy Lindsay, certainly bred to be fast and expected to improve on last week's form. 2 is Razzle Dazzle Maya for Neelis O'Connell and Michael Delaney. This fellow, a daughter, should I say, of Makeshift and Razzle Dazzle Prue, has good form over this trip in the past. 3 is Glenda Lock for Liam Curley, a son of Patsy Sabbath and Glen Lee. We saw its litter comrade winning earlier in the card. 4 is Tinnock Phantom for Michael Devereaux, who himself is seeking a double. This is a daughter of Ballymac Vic and Glen Lee. Next in 5 is Tiger in Tempo, trained by Jerry Holian for Claire Callery and David Ryan, the daughter of Drupes Roddick and Scissors, another one bred to be a stayer. And out in 6 is Whitewood Super for Laura Earle, a son of Superior Product, and Global Liberty, another with a superb pedigree. Global Liberty, of course, the dam of the likes of Slippy Keane, Lenson Blinder and Arne Guinea amongst others. So lots to like in this A1 575 sixth race, a really cracking contest to look ahead to.
Yeah, cracking contest indeed, and the action's getting better and better as the night goes on here at Shelburne Park. Remember, you can still get involved in the Bark and Buzz. Obviously, that's the betting on all of the action here tonight at Shelburne and indeed Limerick and everywhere in Ireland, all the various meetings that are taking place tonight. And remember, you only probably need to back a big price winner or click with a forecast or TriCast to pay for the stream, because it's about making things pay. So if you're not familiar with the Bark and Buzz app, log on and sign up, because on nights like tonight you'll do well to be without it. Okay, let's have a look at our 3 to follow. It's a 575 and A1 575 as Ian said, and we're going to start with Razzle Dazzle Maya for Michael Delaney, one of 3 females in the lineup. She's a daughter of Makeshift. There's no doubt about it, she is the one to beat. If she can repeat her run from last year when she clocked 29.69 and 29.67 for the 550 trip, she will be very hard to beat. She returns to 575. If she breaks the best, the rest are probably running for second place. The next we're going to have a look at is Glendalough for Liam Curley and Offaly, a 2-time winner from 5 starts. She's the least exposed, or one of the least exposed in the lineup. She has to do it on the clock, but her April 13 run was remarkable because she was involved in an awful lot of crowding, or he was involved in an awful lot of crowding, and he still managed to win. He'll need to break better to be involved, but he's got an each way chance if you're getting involved in the Bark and Buzz app. And the last we're going to have a look at is Trap 5. That's Tiger in Tempo for Claire Gallery and David Ryan, the third of the females in the lineup, a daughter of Drupes Roddick, who's won its last 2. Has won over 575 and 750. So if this daughter of Drupes Roddick is anyway close at halfway, you would have to think the Tiger in Tempo is going to have a big ask. But it's a wide open race, as most of the racing here tonight at Shelburne Park has been. And if you are getting involved in the trio, those wide open races, if you can click it, it'll most definitely pay. You could get a 3-figure dividend for your euro. Ian, they're loading. It's our 6th race, A1 575. We'll give the final call to you.
Yeah, I'm sort of between 1 and 3, Lochranza and Glendalough. I think Glendalough will certainly improve for the step up and trip. The longer run to the corner could certainly suit. Well, all in traps now for this 6th race. The owner Greyhound.ie, A1 575, 1 Lochranza, 2 Razzle Dazzle Maya, 3 Glendalough, 4 Tinnock Phantom, 5 Tiger in Tempo, and 6 is Whitewood Super. Off and racing, good start by Trap 4. Tinnock Phantom leads into the bend. Now Trap 3, Glendalough showing speed up the middle of the track, and Glendalough will lead them on the corner. From in second spot 2, Razzle Dazzle Maya. 5 is next, Tiger in Tempo. 1 Lochranza now making a forward move into third, but out front in 3, Glendalough has opened up by 4 lengths. 2 in second, 2 Razzle Dazzle Maya, who does stay on well. Then comes 4 Tinnock Phantom, but Trap 3, Glendalough is purring out front. He's skipping clear up the home straight. Trap 3, Glendalough, a very impressive winner for Liam Curley, a double for the Patsy Sabbath and Patsy Sabbath Glen Lee litter. Glendalough, a tremendous winner in 31.25. That's it, Rob. Double for the litter.
125, double for the litter indeed. You can't be good breeding, as yourself and Joe Sheen are notorious in saying. And once Glendalough was anyway close heading up to the opening bend, we mentioned that April 13 run when he came from a long way off to win. Once he led off the opening 2 bends, it was going to be pretty hard for him to reel him in. Obviously, Razzle Dazzle Maya turned second and as you suggested, does stay well, but maybe isn't as good as she once was. And she's run well in defeat, but she was never really getting to this leader, Glendalough, who was just absolutely, the further he was going, the further he was going to win. And he's now made it 3 from 6, and the clock 31.25 suggests that he's going to be a greyhound who's he's going to make his presence felt in 575s or maybe even 600s in the months to come. But that was impressive, Glendalough, and you can't beat a good greyhound who's on the rise. And as you said, a double for the litter and a win for Offaly tonight, and no doubt Offaly supporters will be hoping that the hurlers can do the business this weekend. We'll have another look, Ian. You did give a mention to Glendalough, and I'd say you were fairly happy at this stage.
Yeah, I wish I'd backed it, but yeah, once it got to the front, it was always going to take some stopping. It had been staying on stoutly in its previous races over 5.25 yards. Had a 28.74 here at Shelburne Park, and you know, Liam Curley, as a breeder, he's produced some really fast greyhounds over the years, but they all tend to stay a bit further than the 5.25, 5.50. And Glendalough is another one of them, a really fluent mover, nice sized greyhound. He's 79 pounds here tonight and striding out to line, wins well. Razzle Dazzlemaya in second spot. You know, she rarely runs a bad race, but a fine winner, Glendalough. And you know, I've said it once or twice tonight, that dog will go on to win plenty more races because he has a bit of everything. He's good early speed and he stays. Good combination to have in a dog.
Absolutely, couldn't say it better myself. Right, let's get to Limerick because we've got the second semi-final of the SAS Limerick Oaks coming up. Azabi won the opening one. Let's see what Emma thinks in semi-final number 2.
Jennifer O'Donnell, it clocks 28.47 in its quarter-final winner. This is Scobie Princess. Number 2 for Aoife O'Keefe of County Waterford. Her runner, Conager Spice, in with a good chance. Another quarter-final winner, this time trained by James O'Regan with that very slick 28.39 to its credit. Breton Averill, Richard Garnham owns. Number 4, Graham Holland's runner for Kevin O'Brien of Clonakilty, County Cork. Clona Sky, the SIS Cork Oaks winner. Now we're on to the Orange Jacket, and Brendan O'Shea and Donal Brennan team up with Nutty Jim. And so we move on to Long Isabel for James and Anne Wade of Cashel, County Tipperary. We have 3 qualified for the final of the SIS Limerick Oaks.
Yeah, thanks, Mal. And we're going to look at our 3 to follow. And obviously, we're going to start with Scooby Princess in trap 1 for Jennifer O'Donnell. She was obviously, well, she's been one of the best bitches in Ireland for the last 12 months. She got to the semi-final of last year's Boyle Sports Irish Greyhound Derby. She was brilliant here a couple of weeks ago when she managed to win on the supporting card of the Conan Annie Kirby. That night, Jennifer O'Donnell just thought she might need the run, but she was brilliant to win in 28.24. And last week, when she won her quarter-final in 28.47, she was so resilient from the third bend when she just put her opposition to bed. If she breaks, she'll take some stopping. The second we're going to have a look at is Breton Averill, who was also a quarter-final winner last week in 28.39. Went faster than Scooby Princess. That was the fastest time last week. She beat Clona Sky when she got to the Cork Oaks final, but of course Clona Sky got her revenge, so it'll be interesting to see who fares the best of those two. And the last of our 3 to follow is indeed the Cork Oaks heroine, Clona Sky. She's a little bit hit and miss. Graham Holland thought she'd win a couple of weeks ago when she was second to Scobie Princess, and she was third to Breton Averill last week. Obviously, when she won the Cork Oaks, she didn't manage to win an awful lot of heats before getting to the final, and she obviously managed to win that. So she's a type of bitch who just seems to maybe do enough to qualify, and then she seems to bring her best for the big nights. And she's trained by Graham Holland, who's as good as a man to put a lead in the dog at the moment. So they're the 3 to follow. It's a really good semi-final. Emma, Scooby Princess is the obvious one. You gave us a Zabi. Are we going to look at Scooby Princess to double up?
Thanks, Rob. Yes, the second semi-final here is equally as strong, that's for sure. But I'm going to be with Breton Averill to fight a Scooby's Princess challenge. Scooby's Princess, I mean, what a lady she was. A classy winner here last week. Last week she didn't get much room at the first turn. She ever so slightly checked, and, you know, she had to take the wide course. But when she hit the ground running, I mean, like I said, so impressive and motored home to Jennifer O'Donnell's delight. This bitch really is the apple of her eye. And to me, she probably is the worthy favourite at 9-4 to win the competition outright. Cunningar Spice goes from trap 2. She's great at boxes. She showed good track craft last week to run the rail on the run in home, but I do think she's going to need a decent break with the likes of Breton Averill and Scooby's Princess surrounding her. My selection, like I said, is Breton Averill going from trap 3. She's fast away, she has lovely early, and she's likely to run a very fast line up the middle. I think she's just determined to win, and Right So Bell and herself had a great battle here last week, so that's why I'm going to favour her tonight. Clona Sky, I have to mention her owner, Kevin O'Brien, who's the sponsor of the Kelowna Blaze that stood down in Cork tonight. I mean, he's a great supporter of our sport, and we're very, very grateful to him, that's for sure. Of course, as Rob said, this lady is already a winner of the Cork Oaks. She did go back 11 spots on her sectional, but if she can take a flyer, she is seriously, seriously fast. Nutty Gem took a flyer, and she's likely to do similar again. You know, she can move to the rail, but I thought she showed great pace to chase Scooby's Princess last week. And Long Isabel, you know, she took a jump from A4 to double AO, but she held her own. She's finishing well, and she doesn't have the greatest trap draw, but I'm going to stick with Breton Avril. I think it can be a fight up front between herself and Scooby's Princess. We're definitely looking forward to it. And they're all loaded and in boxes, and I'm going to hand you over to Mal for the commentary.
Runners in trap: Scooby Princess, Cunningar Spice, Breton Avril, Clona Sky, Nutty Gem, Long Isabel. 3 to qualify from this one. 1, 5 and 6. 1 early on, Scooby Princess. 5, Nutty Gem, and 6 for company Long Isabel. We're off the second bend. Breton Avril has ground to make up the quarter-final winner. Up front, it's trap 1, Scooby Princess, by 3 lengths from Long Isabel. 4 and 5 are next, Clona Sky and Nutty Gem. Scooby Princess leads, going to the final bend, and off that from Long Isabel, 1 Scooby Princess is going to win, followed home by 6 and 5. Nutty Gem, Long Isabel going through. The time is 28:13, a very slick run, 28:13.
Absolutely sensational from Scooby Princessa. And once she came out like she did, it was not only was it a case of how far she was going to win, we were already thinking this was going to be a slick time. She's just moved a little bit towards her right. Of course, when she won a couple of weeks ago, she won from trap 6. So it's safe to say maybe she's not a natural from trap 1, but when this lady gets running, she's one of the fastest in the country. Of course, she won on the Winter Festival back in December here at Shelburne, and she's as good a bitch as there is in training, and there's no doubt about it. She is going to be favoured for next week's final. Once she came out, it was only going to be a matter of how far, and she's absolutely blitzed them. We must give a mention to Long Isabella for James Wade, and Anne Wade has got to a big final now. She's run a blinder in defeat, although she was running for second for most of the journey. And in third, Nutty Gem has just got the better of Clona Sky. It looked as though Clona Sky was going to maybe make another big final after winning the Cork Oaks, but she's had to give way in the end to Nutty Gem. But a little bit like Azabi, this was a one Greyhound affair from Trap Rise, but she's gone 3 lengths faster than Azabi, Scooby Princess, and I think it's safe to say we know what's favoured for next week's final, regardless of the trap draw. Maybe trap 1, she doesn't necessarily need it. If she was in trap 2 or trap 3, it might even suit her better. Emma, we're going to get a recap of that second semi-final. Scooby Princess, what a lady, and safe to say she's going to be favoured next week.
Definitely safe to say that, Rob. I mean, Breton Avril in trap 3 stumbled ever so slightly when she came out, but you know, Scooby's Princess made no mistakes, and I took an absolute flyer. Like you said, stepped off ever so slightly, but it didn't make any difference. You know, she ran a very fluent bend, set a searing gallop, and when this lady hit the front, it was always a matter of just watching the clock. And 28:13, I mean, what a run. Long Isabella, I did say that she's a good enough staying type, you know, she will stay on and qualify, and it's great to see her in a big final, and Nutty Gem as well qualifying, so they'll be delighted to be in the final. 3 brilliant bridges through. It's going to be a cracking lineup, and I definitely wouldn't mind being on Scooby's Princess. I don't know about you, Rob.
Yeah, well, it's one of those finals already. It probably doesn't really matter what trap she gets, because we know she can do it from any trap. She blitzed them from trap 6 a couple of weeks ago. She's done 28:13 from trap 1 tonight, moving to her right. So if she gets trap 1, she's going to be favoured. If she gets 2, 3 or possibly 4, she's going to be favoured. But it's a big matchup that Greyhound Racing loves. We've got Azabi and we've got Scooby Princess, and obviously the other 4 bitches are in the final. And Ian, I must bring you in. The big 2, you said before we had any semi-final that Azabi and Scooby Princess were the 2 you liked, and we've got a good match. Better than a good match. We've got a big match next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Scooby Princess, I didn't exactly expect her to pop out like that and make every inch in 28:13. You know, I sort of said during the week I didn't think trap 1 would be her box, but it could suit her in the conditions of the race. You know, you saw by her, she was in trap 4 by the time they got to the bend, and then edging back in, but yeah, I don't think the draw really does matter to her. Azabi will probably hit the front no matter where she's drawn, and it's all a case of where Scooby Princess will turn in behind her. And yeah, cracking little find to look forward to. You mentioned Long Isabel qualifying as well. She had won a confined stake here at Shelburne Park only a couple of weeks ago, so you know, great work from all involved to get her into a final. But yeah, cracking little find to look forward to. Meanwhile, here at Shelburne Park, we're going to look to the next contest. It's the second semi-final of this Barking Buzz Open 575. All eyes for me will be on trap 5, All for the Best. Ran so well in the Sean O'Connor Cup down at Limerick in recent times. He has won over this distance in 31:20 here at Shelburne Park, beating Droopy's Wyatt of all greyhounds on that occasion. So if he can carry that form forward, he'll be very hard to stop. Interesting here, Rails Rabok is owned by the legendary Mícheál Murhertig, of course, a Hall of Famer here in greyhound racing, and his son Angus. But the first we're going to see on parade is trap 1, Neon Alex. Runners parading for this Barking Buzz app, Open 575. Neon Alex is in 1, owned by John Butler, son of Droopy's Roddick and Boradera Angel. Next in 2 is Rails Rabok for Mícheál Murhertig and his son Angus, trained by Neelis O'Connell, a strong running son of Razzle Dazzle Billy and Razzle Dazzle Marlin. Actually ran here last night, finishing well. 3 is Sinfonia, took a tumble last time out at Kilkenny, but has since trialled well for Owen McKenna and Pamela Holt. She's a talented daughter of Lawhill Blake and Fira Mosky. 4 is Kildallan Pearl for David Murray and Noreen Weir, a talented daughter of Droopy Sydney and Mag's Image. She's 31:30 for the trip. 5 is All for the Best, owned by the HDJ Syndicate, a strong running son of Vulturian. Agasanthus, if you can race prominently, be hard to hold in the latter stages. And 6 is Almighty Paddy, a dog with some superb form here at Shelburne Park, most notably over 600 and 750 yards, owned by Ger Purcell in Waterford, son of Skywalker Farlow and Pine Candy, well housed as a wide seed. A great little race to look forward to. The Barking Buzz app, Open 575. Back to you, Rob.
Yeah, it is the Barking Buzz app, Open 575, and another reminder that if you're getting involved tonight and you fancy having a flutter, the Barking Buzz app it's the best way to go, because you can get involved in the forecast and the tricast. Those who come racing at Shelburne Park or any of the Greyhound stadiums in Ireland, you know how healthy and how rich those trio dividends can pay. So just sign up. It's a great way to enjoy the night, and as we said, at the very least, a couple of winners, and you can manage to pay for the stream by watching us here. Right, we're going to have concentrate on our 3 to follow, and the first greyhound we're going to look at is Neon Alex in trap 1. Son of Droopy's Roddick. He's been in really good form of late down in Thurles, which isn't an easy track to run. He's run in Shelburne Park in the past, and he's a fairly stout stayer. His form at Shelburne hasn't been great, but he's been running well at Thurles since, and if this ad pops out, we might just see him reproduce it at Shelburne, that he hasn't really done it in the past. Trap 2 is Rails Rabok, as Ian mentioned, owned by the legendary Mícheál Murhertig, and Angus Murhertig obviously was a runner here last night. He's a 7-time winner from 36 starts. He's on a 13-run losing run, which is a little bit of a worry, but it is a significant drop in grade for him. So if he's on the premises, he's well overdue a win. That's trap 2, Rails Rabok. And 3 is Sinfonia for Pamela Holt, trained by Owen McKenna. Owen's already been on the mark tonight. He's bidding for a double. She's a daughter of Loghill Blake. She can do it over 5.25. She can do it over 7.25, and she's had a decent trial here at Shelburne just last week when she clocked 28.79. And the way Owen McKenna's greyhounds are running at the moment, don't be surprised if Sinfonia is the one to beat. They're all in.
All in for this 7th race, second semi-final, the Barking Buzz app. 575, 1 Neon Alex, 2 Rails Rabok, 3 Sinfonia, 4 Kildallan Pearl, 5 All for the Best, 6 Almighty Paddy. Racing, good start by trap 5, All for the Best. Trap 4 going up well in the middle, Kildallan Pearl, but it's All for the Best. This powerhouse leads on the opening turn. In second spot 4, Kildallan Pearl, and 6 takes a bump, Almighty Paddy. 1 moves third, Neon Alex, but 5, All for the Best. A real strong running tracker, leads by 3. 2 in second, 4 Kildallan Pearl. Then comes 1 Neon Alex, 3 Sinfonia, 6 Almighty Paddy, and 2 is at the tail, Rails Rabok. But out front, and 5, All for the Best, maintains a clear advantage off the final turn. All for the Best, striding out to the line, will win well. In second spot 3, Sinfonia was flying home, may have just grabbed second with 4 Kildallan Pearl. That one in a photo, but out front, no doubt about it, All for the Best, a brilliant winner in 31.05. That was over from the opening stride.
Yeah, you were spot on, Ian, over from the opening stride. I think you were fairly sweet in them as well when we were listening to you. We're going to have a rerun, another look at this opening 575 semi-final. They broke fairly level, but once this lad trapped anyway on terms, and the fact that he was leading into the opening bend, it was only a matter of how far. As Ian did say, he clocked those 2 really good runs in Limerick over the last couple of weeks, and when running the Sean O'Connor Cup final last week, or a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, he's a stout stayer. So once he hit the lids and was leading around the opening 2 bends, it was only a matter of how far. Sinfonia started okay, and she's probably really caught the eye in challenging for second. I'm not too sure if she's got up for second. It's tight between her and Kildall and Pearl, but all for the best. That's 9 wins now from 20 starts. And Ian, did they get the impression beforehand that you were sweetening them?
All for the best. He's a really nice greyhound. I liked him from the early stages in his career. Highlighted him one night in Racing Post TV in the Irish Focus, and yeah, he's come forward in his career each and every night he's run. And tonight it was probably a race that suited in terms of there was no real early speed to challenge him, and once he got to the front he just keeps going. He's a bit of a relentless galloper. I was really taken by Trap 3, Sinfonia. She's been in good form. She took a tumble in the TP Weedick Open 725 down at Kilkenny, but I'm sure they'll keep her on the go now until the Corn Cuchulainn, for which she could certainly go well, and she looks a real stayer in the making, as you see. She flies up the home straight, but Trap 5 all for the best. A really strong running tracker, trained in Bray, of course, where my late father was from. So good Wexford greyhound, all for the best, and I'm sure those connected with this are having a bit of sport with him, because he'll win plenty of races for them. Again, you can go over all sorts of trips. We saw him running well in the Sean O'Connor Cup over 525, tonight winning over 575. He'd certainly get 600 yards. They have any amount of options with him, and they'll win plenty of races with him.
In the white jacket for David.
Hello.
Next up for the Kildare Kilcolgan Syndicate, Culavani Sando runs for the kennels of Neelis O'Connell, trainer. 5, Goofy, the Pillar Syndicates. Dennis Fitzgerald runs for the lads from Strafford on Slaney. And number 6, Canavar Jim, locally owned here by John Lyons, trained by Julie O'Connell. Those are the runners for the 7th race, which is the Talking Dogs TV.
Yeah, it sure is another unraced run here. And Trap 1 is vacant, so we've only got the 5 greyhounds going to Traps for our 7th race. We're going to kick off with Trap 2 in our 3 to follow. This is Kill Ballyown Boy. This one for Sean O'Riordan. By Log Hill Blake and Bright Ella, trained by Stephen Murray. Bright Ella was a 6-time winner, and this lad has posted 29.31 in a trial, so he's obviously one for the shortlist, and I noticed there's been a few quid for him on the Bark and Buzz app as well. Next we're going to look at is Trap 5 Goofy for the Pillar Syndicate, trained by Dennis Fitzgerald, obviously making its race debut. Is son of Droopy's Kane and Lemon Zara. Lemon Zara was unraced, but this Goofy was one of 12 in the litter, would you believe, and 2 of which have already won, including Monleek, Idaho, who's managed to win 3 from 5 in Dundalk. And Trap 6 is Canaver Jim for John Lyons and trainer Julie O'Connell, another making its debut, son of Log Hill Blake, one of 14 in the litter, would you believe, and a half-brother to Alaron River, who has some good runs in Tralee, and he managed to win his first round heat of the 2019 Irish Derby. So this Canavar Jim is most definitely well bred and has got a couple of decent spins already on his card. So it's race 7, Emma. It's a third of the unraced races, but safe to say this is the best unraced contest we've had so far at Limerick this evening.
For sure, Rob. It looks very, very exciting. In Trap 2, we see Kill Ballyowen Boy. I mean, I'm a big Log Hill Blake fan, and Bright Ella, his mother, this is his first litter, so it will be very exciting to see what this pup can be. It's hard to know what line they'll run. If you look at the card, of course, we see an inside seed and 2 middle seeds here. That's just because they're novices. They're all going to have a middle seed on them, unless, of course, your owner or trainer changes that. But I think with the vacant box in one, Kill Ballyowen Boy might just have a little bit more room to run. In Trap 3 we see Drum Keen Rose. She's a quietly bred, and he was a brilliant dog himself, of course. However, his pups might just be a little bit short running type, so do keep an eye out. This lady's mother was very, very well bred. She's out of Tyra Big Mike, and she's a very handy little bit, only 58 to 59 pounds, so it would be great to see her doing it for the girls, that's for sure. But my selection is going to come from Trap 4, Culavani Sando for Neely O'Connell. Droopy Sydney, I mean, he's one of my favourite dogs for many reasons. We have a few Droopy Sydneys in our kennels that I'm a big favourite of, but Paper Doll was also a great bitch. She was out with a brilliant badminton girl, so the line of form is definitely there. 1913 is also a very good qualifying trial for a pup, so definitely one to be keeping an eye on. Goofy, equally as exciting for Dennis Fitzgerald, Droopy's Kane, Lemon Zara, brilliant breeding again. I don't know how many times tonight I'm going to say brilliantly bred pups are coming up, but it's the truth. They're very, very well bred. you know, they're very equal on clock, so it's hard to know what to go for here, but I'm going to stick with Coolavani Sando over Goofy. Of course, to give a mention to Canavore Jim, 29.45 in Cork and a 19.36 over the sprint trip too. I think he might dive for the rail, but we'll see. You know, they're definitely going to be finding their feet. They're all going to be a little green, but he'll be in with a shot. I'm going to stick with my guns though and say Coolavani Sando to get the win over Goofy. They've just been loaded and they're about to wave the flag, so I'll hand you over to Mal for the commentary.
Trap 1 is vacant, 2 Kilballion Boy, 3 Drumkeen Rose, 4 Coolavani Sandy, 5 Goofy, 6 Canavore Jim. Away from traps number 3 and 4 abreast into their strike. Coolavani Sando is one of those, which is in the black jacket. Goofy going okay, which is number 5. Then in third is trap 2, Kilballion Boy. Up front, 4 from 5, a length separating the leading pair. They're 6 to 8 lengths back to trap 2, Kilballion Boy. Up front, it's 4 on the inside, Coolavani Sando from Goofy off the final bend, 4 from 5 by a length as the line beckons 4-5. Tied for third, trap 2 is there, but the win is Coolavani Sando, Neelis O'Connell, 28.82 the time.
Winning time, and not only did Emma manage to give you the winner, she's managed to give you the forecast as well, so hopefully you did that on the Bark and Buzz app. We'll watch it again. For the winner, Coolavani Sando was well away. Drumkey Rose actually broke slightly the better of the 5, but once Coolavani Sando managed to get his nose in front, he was always going to take a bit of beating. Emma did suggest that Goofy was the main danger, and at the third bend, or coming into the third bend, it looked as though Dennis Fitzgerald's charge was maybe going to reel in this leader. Might have got within a head of Coolavani Sando, but in fairness to the winner, he's kicked on off the final bend, and if anything, has he won going away? He's won by a length and a half. But 2 good youngsters, 2 greyhounds that no doubt will be seeing plenty more at Limerick. And to Emma, well, plaudits, because she's given us a couple of winners tonight, but it's not easy to pick forecasts, Emma. And he said 4 would beat 5, and you nailed it.
Thanks, Rob. Well, I think I just got lucky there, really. But Coolavani Sando, what a brilliant winner. Trapped very well. Trap 5 Goofy was never going away. My forecast was looking a little bit weary there for a moment. But what a brilliant winner Coolavani Sando was. Set the pace for the majority of the race. But I think Goofy is definitely one to be keeping an eye on in the future for sure. Because, like I said, he wasn't going away from Coolavani Sandy tonight. And this is definitely 2 exciting pups to be keeping your eye on in the future. Definitely ones for the notebooks, and I think ones that could end up being good runners around here. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely, Emma. 2 promising youngsters, and no doubt they'll be going from strength to strength. Greyhounds are just about to come on parade for our next race here at Shelburne Park. It's the second of our Barking Buzz app Open 575 and semi-finals, and they all go to traps as most of the Greyhounds do here tonight at Shelburne. Just to recap on what we've had already here tonight at Shelburne, it's been a great night's racing. Owen McKenna introduced Droopy's Good to Shelburne. He made it 3 from 3 in our 4th race, winning in 28.53. He looks like he's a Greyhound very much going places. And then in a couple of races ago, we saw Glenn DeLocke manage to win in a really good 31.25. He's a Greyhound going places for the Kirbys and Offaly. And then straight after that, as Ian suggested, and Ian gave us the last couple of winners, all for the best, managed to clock 21.02 for the 575 trip. So it's been a good night on the Tipping Stakes, Ian. Let's hope he can make it 3 in a row here.
Yes, indeed. The runners now on parade for this Barking Buzz app AO 575 second semi-final. One is Moonstruck for David Buckley and Sean Conway, a daughter Siderian Blaze and Droopy's Fane. Next in blue is Tire Up Farage, owned by David Carroll, a son of Droopy's Kane and Varabon. He's won 3 times in his career. 3 Ballinabola Bolt, owned by Brendan Murphy, a son of Ballymac Esky and Piercestown Mall. 4 in your card is Clona Mist, owned by Tommy Caffrey, a daughter of Skywalker Puma and Springwell Watsy, returning after a layoff. 5 is Outnumbered, a classy individual, trained by the all-conquering Mark O'Donovan, owned by Bernadette Diskin Holian and Basil Holian, a son of Droopy's Nidge and Coolavani Royce. And 6 is Jollification for Nigel McGarry, a daughter of Droopy's Buick in Affection. She's won 6 of her 16 starts. She's been competing in the Cesarewitch in recent weeks. This the Sole Wide Seed. It's your 8th race tonight, second semi-final of the Barking Buzz app Open 575. They're on the way to traps.
Yeah, they sure are, Reen. Couple of minutes to go until we'll be ready to rock. So let's have a look at our 3 to follow. We're going to kick off with Trap 1, Moonstruck for David Buckley, one of 3 bitches in the lineup. She's trained by Sean Conway. She's won her last 2 when she managed to make all here at Shelburne Park, and she also stays this 575 trip really well. So she ticks all the boxes, and she's in her right trap as well. So Moonstruck must have a big chance. The next we're going to have a look at is Tyrap Farage for David Carroll, a 3-time winner from 22 starts. He got back to winning ways in his most recent start, and we know he stays well. Even though he's yet to win over 575, he's given every indication that he stays this 575 trip. He's a bit of value as well on the Bark and Buzz app, so if you want to include him in your trio, you might want to do that. And the last we're going to look at is Clona Mist, which is the one I reckon could take all the beating. This one for Tommy Caffrey in Clonmel. She's a daughter of Skywalker Puma. She is returning from a layoff, but she had a really good trial in the sprint at Cork not too long ago, and we know that she could be fairly decent because she showed signs from her racing in Cork that she stays really well. She starts, she stays, and if you're looking for a progressive greyhound in this lineup, maybe Clona Mist is the one to be on there. We've got Ballinabole Bolt in Trap 3, a 6-time winner from 19 starts, outnumbers in 5 for Mark O'Donovan, a 7-time winner from 22 races, and the last of the females is Jollification, who's a daughter of Droopy's Buick and Affection, and she's managed to win 6 times from 16 races. She's the only wide seed in the card. So Ian, you're going for 3 in a row. It's Clona Mist for me. Where are you going to go for in search of a hat-trick?
I'd be all over Outnumbered. He really is the class act in the race. If he can produce anything close to his best, 28.05 here in the past. He was a finalist in the National Puppy Stake behind New Inn Taylor in his youth. He's obviously had his training problems because there are some large gaps in his card, but showed enough in defeat last week to suggest that he's up to winning a race of this nature. If he comes away on terms, I dare say the long run to the corner should really play to his strengths. And he is untested over the trip, but he has won over 550 yards here in the past, and I've never had him down as a dog that's going to stop soon after the line over 525 or 550 yards, so the 575 shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, he really does look the class act. If he comes away on terms, I'd expect him to win comfortably. That's Trap 5, Outnumbered for Mark O'Donovan, who can do very little wrong at present, Rob.
Yeah, so it's Outnumbered and Clona Mist. We'll do that in a reverse forecast and hopefully we'll strike it lucky. As you can see, the Greyhounds are making their way to Traps for this 8th race. Don't forget to check out the Bark and Buzz app, and remember, if you're feeling extra lucky on this sunny Saturday, the forecast and the trios, they've been paying well tonight, not just in Shelburne but all over the country. So the trios are the one type of bet that really could pay, not just for tonight, but they could pay for plenty of streams in the Saturdays to come. Right, Ian, back to you. You're all about Trap 5 and they're loading for our 8th race.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. They are indeed loading for this 8th race. Outnumbered is a son of Drooby's Nidge and Coolavani Royce, and by his pedigree, he's a half-brother to the likes of Skywalker Rafa, a juvenile Derby champion, and Coolavani Pet, amongst others. Coolavani Pet, of course, a really top-class performer herself, but she was also the dam of the aforementioned Ballymacbeanie and of certain Pistana. So the pedigree is there, Outnumbered. The ability is certainly there, and if he comes away on terms, he should take some stopping. Well, there is the bell now for this 8th race. The Barking Buzz app, 575 second semi, 1 Moonstruck, 2 Tyrap Farage, in 3 Ballinabula Bolt, 4 Clona Mist, 5 is Outnumbered, and 6 Jollification. And racing, good start by Trap 5, edges inwards though Outnumbered, and 3 goes up well in the middle. Ballinabula Bolt from in second spot. Trap 5 Outnumbered up the inside, 1 Moonstruck, 4 and 5. It get tangled up, 4 hits the deck but is up and racing, but it's out front. Trap 3 Ballinabula Bolt that leads by 2 to in second, 1 Moonstruck, 2 Tyrap Farage trying to wind up his challenge, and 6 Jollification back and forth. The other 2 gallop on, but they're a long way behind. It's out front though. Trap 3 Ballinabula Bolt swings wide off the final turn, but will make all the running to score. In second spot is 6 Jollification, 1 Moonstruck third. The winning time 31.26. You see them all galloping over the line. Thankfully, all well, but a good winner in the form of Trap 3 Ballinabula Bolt. Congratulations to Brendan Murphy.
Yeah, the best news of all is that the 6 Greyhounds finished safe and sound, and they live to fight it another day. Yeah, as you said, Ian, Ballinabula Bolt, he made probably the most of whatever traffic problems there were around the opening 2 bends. He's now won 7 from 20 starts, and we knew he was a stout stare. So once he took it off the second bend, he was probably going to be fairly hard to catch. Moonstruck, in fairness, has stuck to her guns fairly well. She, of course, was in search of the hat-trick. Then we've got Tyrap Farage, who was trying to challenge for second, but never never really got into it. But look at the Greyhound at the back, outnumbered. Ian mentioned him, and he was involved in an awful lot of traffic problems. He's run a remarkable race. He's only been beaten 6 or 7 lengths, and I think it's safe to say that the ability most definitely still remains with him. But Ballinabola Bolt has most definitely done the job tonight, and he's done it in fairly good fashion. And as Ian said, a good winner for Connections, and that's winner 7 from 20 starts. Right. Obviously, the highlights down in Limerick have been the semi-finals of the SAS Limerick Oaks. 2 brilliant semi-finals. And with the trap draw for next week's big one, let's get back to Our Lady Emma.
Thanks, Rob. Well, this draw has thrown things wide open, that's for sure. Miss Minnie Mall has been drawn in 1. This lady was staying on very, very well tonight, that is for sure. Trap 2, we see Ballymac Orna. I mean, she gave very good chase tonight. I do think she will prefer to be on the inside of Azabi, who has drawn 3. Azabi will look to move in, but tonight she was just brilliant. So will a trap draw matter to her? That is the question. But she has drawn 3, and I do think Connections will be happy enough with that. In trap 4, we see Nutty Gem. She might just move in as well. Long Isabel is in trap 5, and Scooby's Princess has been drawn out in 6. But draws don't really matter to this lady. She won out of trap 6 previously, about 2 weeks ago. So it's definitely thrown wide open. But for now, we'll hand you over to Mal for the parade of race 8.
Followed by Jemima Cotter of Golden, Madam's Miami with Brenda Peters. In the black, it's Grangeview Mags, Michael Hogan of Nina. Next up, Trevor O'Connell of Abbey Kerry, Roadstone Barney. And number 6, on Stack, New.
Yeah, thanks, Mal. Our 3 to follow we're going to have a look at in race 8, and we're going to kick off with a trap 2, which is Ballyelan Raleigh for Kathleen Scanlon. A 2-time winner from 8 starts, but a really consistent son of the Derby winner Log Hill Blake. Has never been out of has only been out of the first 3 on one of those 8 occasions. Starts and stays, very consistent, and has most definitely won for trios. Trap 4 is next. That's Grangeview Mag for Michael Hogan. What a night he had last night in Kilkenny. A double in the Kilkenny Unrace, the first round heats of that. So his kennel is very much in form. She's a daughter of Droopy's Jeddan and Blastoff Khaleesi. She was 5th behind the Zabi on her most recent start, so she is taking a significant step down in grade, and she possibly is the likely leader, and she could be the one to beat. That's trap 4, Grangeview Mags. And the last we'll have a look at is the second of the middle seeds, Loxley in trap 6 for Sean Stack, trained by Sean himself, also a son of Log Hill Blake, and he generally comes from off the pace. Now he can start, he's led from start to finish in a couple of Limerick wins, but on his most recent start he came from off the pace to win. So he starts and stays, he runs Limerick well, and he's got a very favourable draw. So the main danger to Grangeview Mags in trap 4 could be Loxley, and if you're looking for a reverse forecast, that might be the way to go. So it's an A1525, Emma. It's a fairly trappy race, and I'd say all 6 have got worthy chances.
Definitely, Rob. I think this is a very hard race to pick a winner out in, but of course I'm a little bit familiar and ever so slightly fond of Trap 1 Barney's Road, who goes here for my dad. Of course, he's trained in our kennels for owner Paddy McGallagher, who is a very, very lucky sort. He's had brilliant dogs throughout the years. This lad qualified in very hot here around Limerick for us at 28.44 2 weeks before the Concurby, and he hasn't had the easiest start to his career, being completely honest with you. He showed good pace in the Sean O'Connor Cup, but like I said, a little bit frustrating. Just hasn't found his trapping boots yet. That's just due to greenness, and he was cramping in his first few races, but we're hoping that tonight the penny might just drop with him. So I am going to stick with him as my tip, just to keep everyone in the camp happy. But Ballyelan Raleigh is going from trap 2. This dog is coming back down in trip. Saw out the 570 in Tralee very well. A 192 sectional, so definitely has a nice dash of early also, and ran in against the likes of Knocking About Sid and Music to My Ears, so definitely the pace is there. Madam's Miami, he led to the first turn in an A3 last week. Definitely has a nice bit of early. He secured a comfortable win here on his last outing, and he's been in A1 company before, so this does look like a comfortable grade for him. Grangeview Mags went to the first corner with his Abbey last week. you know, we saw Zabby here earlier how brilliant she was. A 1:27 sectional, so she's likely to be up there in front very early on. This affair looked a little bit easier for her. You know, she's coming from the likes of AO and double AO, so Roadster and Barney is going to go from trap 5, also going from double AO to AO, double AO. Lovely form around Tralee. He's always in the frame and he's got good early, so he's definitely one to be taken a look at. Loxley, like Rob mentioned, goes from trap 6 here, shall I say. It was a good winner last time out. Will have to break slightly better just to get around what is on his inside, but I think he could get the clearest run on the inside. Like I said, I'm hoping that Barney's Road might ping out tonight. You know, it would be great for the kennel to win here on our home track, but he's in with a lot of hot competition tonight, I will admit that. I'll stick with him though, just to avoid headaches from the owners in the camp, because, well, if he were to come out and win and I hadn't tipped him, I might be in trouble, but we'll see what happens. We'll keep our fingers crossed, and I'll hand you over to Mal for the commentary.
From the top, Barney's Road, Ballyellen Rowley, Madam's Miami, Grangeview Mags, Roadstone Barney and Loxley. We're away in racing near side. It's Loxley that's smartly into its stride. Plenty of challenges into the opening bend. It's one that gets the run through Barney's Road. And now suddenly in front we have Grangeview Mags left ahead of the runners. One is second, Barney's Road. Roadstone Barney is in third. As they go up front now, it's 4, 1 and 5. Trap 4 leads, which is Grangeview Mags from 1, Barney's Road. Going towards the line, it's 4, 1, 5. The time is 28.83, and the win for Michael Hogan of Nina.
Yeah, it's been a great 24 hours for Michael Hogan. As we mentioned, he had a double last night in Kilkenny in the first round heats of the Kilkenny Unraced, and Grangeview Mags has managed to give him another win here. We'll pick it up from the second bend. There was a little bit of traffic problems around the opening two bends, and he probably took advantage of that because, or she, I should say, because she's leading at this stage. But just around the top two bends, this is where Barney's Road for Pat and Emma just started to come at the leader. And in the end, while Grangeview Mags has won well and probably won going away, I think it's safe to say that Barney's Road just didn't get the run of the race, and he's most definitely to keep a Greyhound. He's most definitely to keep a Greyhound to keep an eye on, because he was a tad unlucky on that occasion. And by the sounds of Emma, they were expecting a big run from Barney's Road. So the next time you see him, I think he's probably worth a second chance. But Ian, I'll bring you in because it was like they knew it was on the running order with Michael Hogan winning there with the Grangeview Mags. And last night down in Kilkenny, we saw the start of the Kilkenny Unrace, and Michael had a double with two Grangeview winners that won the first and last heats.
Yeah, they certainly did. The first winner made every inch as you'd expect with the pedigree, being Ballymac best actually out of Portumna West. So lots of early speed in the pedigree. He won well in 29.04, and later on in the card, his little brother, Grangeview Tig, got up in the closing yards to win in, a slightly slower time, but I think just the track might have been going back that bit. But yeah, a couple of nice types for Michael, of course, and Portumna West, a former brood bitch of the year, of course, the dam of Grangeview 10, who is up for Sprinter of the Year at the National Greyhound Awards in a week's time. Meanwhile, here at Shelburne Park, we can start to look forward to the final of the Retired Greyhound Trust Open 525, a cracking little race to look forward to. The market, if there was one on track, would probably suggest it's between the likes of Jumeirah Bridge in 1, Our Swans Rock in 4, and maybe Gort Kelly Nestor out in trap 6. But if you were to offer me one to bring home, it would be Legal Thriller in trap 3. I think he's a dog with an awful lot of speed. We did reference him earlier on. That form didn't work out, but that was through traffic rather than actual ability. They are going on parade, so we'll do the parade and get more chat about it in a few moments. The runners now parading for the final of the Retired Greyhound Trust Open 525. 1, Jumeirah Bridge for Dennis Curtin and Jerry Holian, a son of Drubbish Jet and Jumeirah Lawls. 5 wins from 12 outings for this tracker. An interrupted career, but very impressive in his last start. 2 is Urban Fire, owned by Reggie Roberts, a son of Lawhill, Blake and Idle Gossip. 2 wins from 10 starts, only once out of the frame. 3 is Legal Thriller, very fast young son of Jumeirah Bran and Jumeirah Charm, owned by Michael Buckley and Jack Buckley. I'm expecting big things from this fellow in the future. 4 is Our Swans Rock for Jerry Merriman, Joe Sweeney, Brendan Sweeney, son of Patsy Sabbath and Highview Jane. 5 is Bless the Hulk, Gumba Jerry Melia, son of Greenwell Hulk and Holy Cross Leah. And completing your lineup in 6 is Gord Kelly Nestor for Andrew Murray, a son of Droopy's Jet and Dream Queen. It's your 9th race tonight, the feature here at Shelburne Park, the final of the retired Greyhound Trust Open 525. Rob, we want to hear your 3 against the field. And I just wonder, do you have trap 3 in Legal Thriller?
I don't, Ian, because I knew you'd be highlighting them, so that meant we'd 4 against the field. So let's start with trap 1, Jamira Bridge. You've mentioned him a couple of times. He's for Jerry Hollian. He won the semi-final last week in 28.55. He actually ran in the really good sprint on the final night of the Conan Annie Kirby. He's a really good early pace. He's probably the likely leader, the fact that he's in trap 1. He's very consistent, and he's got a 28.28 run here in Shelburne, which could stand to him if he can ping the lids tonight. Trap 2 is Urban Fire for Reggie Roberts, as you mentioned. Ran a blinder last week on his first run from If he was only picked up late on by Our Swans Rock. He's a very consistent sort. He's only been out of the frame in once of his 10 starts, but the worry is, can he lead trap 1? Jamira Bridge is inside him, and that could be his downfall. You've mentioned Legal Thriller, so we'll give our final mention to Our Swans Rock in trap 4 for Joe Sweeney and Brendan Sweeney, trained by Jerry Merriman. Hopefully Patsy and Dolores Merriman are tuning in from Croghan, County Offaly. This lad was actually the fastest marginally in last week's semi-finals when he got up close home. The big worry is there's so much early pace in this race. Can he get a clear run around the opening 2 bends? If he does, nothing will probably be finishing as strong. Him and Legal Thriller are the two that are going to be finishing strong, but this lad just needs to have wiggle room in the early stages, and if he does, he's got a big chance. But Ian, it's a great final. We've got early pace on the inside, and we've got a mixture of both in traps 3 and 4, so maybe luck is going to be the key here. Would you agree?
Yeah, you have to mention Gord Kelly Nestor as well. He's a dog that can go up well in the past. He certainly did run on strongly in his last 2 starts, so I'd have to give him a chance too. Jamira Bridge is the drawn dog in the contest. If he leads, he's going to be hard to peg back if he's doing 28.55. If you're leading in 28.55, something's going to need to be able to do 28.40 to pass you, because it's not just quite as simple as doing 28.54 and beating him. You have to get around him. I've spotted, I've mentioned Legal Thriller. It may happen too quickly for him. It's only his 5th career start. He completely walked from traps last week, did a 2.33, but he really took off from the 3rd bend home to even qualify. Looked, unlikely at that point, but grabbed third, was only just a short head away from grabbing 2nd, and I think he has a very, very big future if he does sharpen up, and that's a bit of a caveat. But as you can see, Rob, they're going to traps. If you want to just give me your final thoughts.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll nail the forecast. As we said, the trap draw is crucial here, and the fact that Jamira Bridge is so speedy early on, the fact that he's got trap 1 and he's proven it here around Shelburne. I can see him leading, and maybe Legal Thriller and Our Swans Rock, if they get a clear run, they could be the ones to chase him home, and maybe we might click with the trio 1, 3, 4 always. But as you've said, Ian, they're just about to start loading for this next race. It's arguably one of the biggest races of the night here at Shelburne, if not the biggest. The final of the retired Greyhound Trust Open 525, and whatever wins this, no doubt, will take a bit of stopping. We've got 6 really fast animals here. Just to reiterate the standout performances here tonight at Shelburne, if you're just tuning in, we've had some great runs. Cosboss in 28.95, Glendalough in 31.25 for the 5.75, and we've seen All for the Best record 31.02, and Owen McKenna's Droopy's Good making it 3 out of 3 and 28.53. Over to you, Ian.
Yeah, the feature here tonight, the final of the retired Greyhound Trust Open 525, €2,000 to the winner. 1 Jamira Bridge, 2 Urban Fire, 3 Legal Thriller, 4 Our Swans Rock, 5 Bless the Hulk, 6 Gord Kelly Nestor. And racing, good start by 6 on the outside. Gord Kelly Nestor, 4 Our Swans Rock up the inside. 2 Urban Fire on the corner. 1 forcing his way through Jamira Bridge to challenge for the lead with 6 Gord Kelly Nestor. Then comes 2 Urban Fire and 4 Our Swans Rock. Now 3 Legal Thriller starting to wind up his challenge. He's gone into 3rd, but it's out front. Trap 1 Jamira Bridge from in 2nd. 6 Gord Kelly Nestor is poised to challenge. 3 Legal Thriller continues to close, but out front, and Gord Kelly Nestor strikes the front and scores from in 2nd. 3 Legal Thriller, 1 Jamira Bridge 3rd. The winning time 28.47. A good winner, Gord Kelly Nestor, with 3 in 2nd. Legal Thriller also catching the eye.
Yeah, brilliant race, Ian. And as you said, he mightn't have won tonight, but Legal Thrillers most definitely caught the eye. We'll look at it again. Start was key. Urban Fire coming out ahead of Jumeirah Bridge was always going to make it difficult for Jumeirah Bridge. He has managed to get up the inside and lead off the second bend, but if he was to win tonight, he needed to be further clear. And once Kelly Nestor was anyway close to him, you said it beforehand, he was always going to be the most likely winner. At this stage, Legal Thriller is absolutely flying. Now, we know he's got Kelly Nestor in front of him, but I'd say maybe at some stage you thought he might have picked up. He's still running maybe a little bit inexperienced off the final bend, which probably hasn't cost him victory, but it didn't do him any favours either. But a really good race. Kelly Nestor, he loves it around here at Shelburne Park. In second, Legal Thriller. You must have been pleased with that road, even though he didn't win.
Yeah, fine run by the runner-up. A good winner, though, Kelly Nestor. He's a very strong runner. You knew once he was where he was at the third bend, he was probably going to go to the front and take some stopping. Then 3 Legal Thriller, as we've seen here. He's in 5th spot entering the back straight, and he finishes a close second. Yeah, a fine run by him. But Kelly Nestor, this isn't his best payday. He won €10,000 last year, winning the Kilkenny Derby. It was an A1 competition, but he won it in fine style. And he's been a great performer for Andrew Murray. That's his 9th career victory. He's over €16,000 in prize money, and 3 Legal Thriller second. We'll hear more of him in the future. A lot to like about both the winner and the second Legal Thriller.
Yeah, fair play to Ian. Right, the action's still coming thick and fast, so we're going to go back down to Limerick, and we've got an S1 sprint on the way. So let's head to Limerick.
The runners going to traps now, and the parade area for the keep your distance sprint. Never mind, track and mouth.
McNamara, Rockalong, Cosmo, number 1. Number 2 in the blue, Blitzing for Michael Walsh of Hospital, County Limerick. Me and Jack for June Kennedy and Master Jack Hogan. For David Hogan of Clare, Tremora Champion. Tom's Arena for Declan Maloney of Limerick. And then we have, from my van, Astra Eclipse, trained by Poddy Keane.
Yeah, really good S1 sprint on the way. And our 3 to follow is going to start with Trap 1, which is Rockalong Cosmos for Michael McNamara and Donica McNamara. A 7-time winner from 32 starts. A well-capable son of Tully Murray Acton. He's one of the Limerick regulars in the lineup, which could play to his strengths here. Trap 2 is Blitzing for Michael Walsh. He's a 6-time winner from 20 starts. He's a son of Farlow Blitz, and he probably ticks an awful lot of boxes here because not only does he know Limerick well, but he's obviously got abundance of early pace, and he stays well. And in a race like this, that could play to his strengths. So Blitzing, another for the short list. And we're going to finish off with Trap 4, which is Tremora Champion for David Hogan, a daughter of Droopy Sydney and Broken Tic Tac. 2 from 2 so far. 1891 here last week. She was really impressive. Now, that was at 6th grade, so she's going to have to really step up here. But she is the intriguing runner in this lineup. And if we have something that's going to do a scintillating run, it might just be Tremora Champion. We've got me and Jack in Trap 3. Who's won in the likes of Cork and Galway. He's a 2-time winner. We've got Tom's Ariana, who still has to win from 5 starts, but has some really good runs on the book. And the second of the wide seeds is Astra Eclipse for Poddy Keane, a 3-time winner from 14 starts, and he's got some good runs in Tralee, which would most definitely give him a squeak here. But Emma, it's an S1 sprint. It's not an easy sprint to work out. Have you managed to pick the winner?
Definitely not an easy sprint to work out, Rob, that's for sure. In Trap 1 we see it rock along Cosmo. I mean, it's back in Limerick tonight after a little trip to Galway, sprinting a very fast 18.94 on the card, of course. Loves this trip, loves to run to the corner, and I think with a similar performance with that 18.94 win, it can easily get himself in front tonight. And he does need to come away though, because you know, with a sprint, it's very, very fast-paced, that's for sure. Blitzing goes from Trap 2, raced over this distance once last year, won it in 1891, came away running, which is definitely his style of running. We've seen that in his last 2 outings also. Can he make it 3 from 3 tonight? That is the big question. Me and Jack goes from Trap 3, downgraded after running in the Super Sprint from Cork. Won an S3 in Galway, of course, as well. Went up in grade and got beaten at very, very good times. And I think tonight might need to do things a little bit right. My selection is going to be Tremora, champion in Trap 4. A very quick 18.91 on the card, and it is unbeaten in its career so far. She's the youngest lady in the lineup. Very impressive when winning the last time out. Like I said, clocking a very quick 18.91. But look, it is a bit of a step up, but I do think this trip will suit. Tom's Arena, Trap 5, very well bred, and of course she's very lightly raced too. She only has 5 starts to her name. First competitive race over this distance, but I think if she can be even away, she'll get herself into the shake-up. Her brother won a heat of the Island Bridge sprint competition in Shelburne, of course, so she's definitely bred to be a sprinter. And of course, last but not least, Astra Eclipse in Trap 6, Montaigne Beauty. She's brilliant, was a brilliant brood. Of course, this lad is a brother to Buckley's John Joe, who is a brilliant sprinter over in England. Already has a few classics to his name, so definitely one to be keeping an eye on. Another one bred to be a sprinter. But I'm going to stick with Tremora champion over Trap 2 and 3. We'll see how it goes. They're all loaded. The flag is about to be waved, and we'll hand you over to Mal for our commentary.
Here on the move, Rock Along Cosmo, blitzing Me and Jack, Tremora champion, Tom's Arena, and Astra Eclipse. In the sprint 350, Astra Eclipse is well away on the outside. Me and Jack is second. Rock Along Cosmos in third. It's 6-3-1 as they go towards the second bend stand side in the sprint. It's still 6-3-1. Astra Eclipse down the centre, leading them home, followed by Me and Jack and Rock Along Cosmo. 18.75. The winner trained by Poddy Keane of My Van, County Kerry.
Eclipse breaks, but was out under the lids, was already a length and a half clear of Me and Jack after a couple of strides, and was a couple of lengths clear of everything else. And once you've got a couple of length lead in a sprint, it's always going to be very hard for anything to catch you. In fairness to Me and Jack, has got close to him around the opening 2 bends, but as we said, this Astra Eclipse has won over 5.25, so stamina was never going to be an issue, and absolutely blitzed the lids. If you've got a sprinter and they can hit the lids like we've seen Astra Eclipse do, I tell you, you'll win an awful lot of races. You'll win a lot more races than you'll lose. Emma, that was scintillating stuff from Astra Eclipse there.
For sure, as you said, took an absolute flyer, Rob. 18.75, that's a very good time. I mean, he was foot perfect from the get-go, and when he hit his stride, he was just brilliant. I thought 3, Me and Jack gave good chase, went a little bit wide off the second, but full credit to Astra Eclipse because that was a foot perfect performance. Very, very good display. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't mind having him if I like the sprinter. What about you, Rob?
Third one, Rock Along.
Yeah, we've had a few sprinters back in the day, and there was one lad who hit the lids like him, but most of them didn't. And when you're in sprints, you just know how crucial those breaks are. And if this lad keeps breaking the way he has been breaking, well, it's going to take a good one to beat him. Speaking of sprinting, I'm going to bring you back in here because Emma touched on it. With the Island Bridge here last night, 4 quarter-finals, but there was one standout performance. No doubt you were taken from the same performance as most other people were.
Sorry, Rob, I dropped out there for a moment.
I was just saying we were talking about the sprints, and listen, we'll have a chat after this next at Shelburne. We might touch on the Island Bridge, which we saw here last night, the first round heats. But they're coming on parade for our 10th race scene. It's an open 5.25.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah, very taking display last night. A couple of taking displays, but meanwhile on parade for this 10th race. The first we're going to see in red is Burgess Glengar, owned by Sheila Spillane and JJ Fennelly, son of Patsy Sabbath and Glengar Badminton. Next in the blue jacket, Mucky Harbour for Neelis O'Connell and David Manning, a daughter of Law Hill Duke and Droopy's Harbour. 3 Glenquan Pat, owned by Damien Cunningham, Liam Curley. Very impressive last time. The son of Patsy Sabbath and Glen Lee shows great early speed. We've already seen 2 of this litter winning tonight. Next in 4, Costa Plenty, owned by the Costalot Syndicate, Trimmer Jerry Melia, son of Droopy's Roddick and Mary's Note, a professional tracker, normally goes up fast. 5 Portamont Flash, another to win very impressively last week, owned by Margaret Doherty, son of Linson Panda Fork Lightning, and out in 6 is Awesome Blue, yet another to win here 7 nights ago for Tom Bride and Jack Bride, a son of Sklarmy Daddy and Belmore Pebbles. Your 10th race here tonight. They're on the way to traps. Not long left to place your bets. This is an open 525, and again, really competitive contest.
Yeah, competitive, no doubt, and as Ian touched on, we've got plenty of informed greyhounds here. We're going to have our 3 to follow, and the first we're going to touch on is Trap 2 Mucky Harbour for David Manningham and Neelish O'Connell. Neelish has already been on the mark down in Limerick, and this daughter of Log Hill Duke, she's a 5-time winner from 16 starts. She was a good winner at Cork in her most recent start, and she's got some really good runs down in Thurles, and she very rarely misses the kick, so Mucky Harbour is most definitely one for the shortlist. Glenquan Pat is the next we're going to have a look at. As Ian mentioned, the litter's been on fire tonight, already 2 winners. He's won 3 from 4 starts already. He's one of 2 youngsters in the lineup, and he had a really good run here at Shelburne on his most recent start. So the way the litter's going, you'd be a brave person to rule out Glenquan Pat. And the last we're going to concentrate on is Trap 4, which is Costa Plenty for Jerry Melia, a 14-time winner from 47 starts. And as we said, probably needs a flyer, but very rarely runs a bad race, and has clocked 28.44 and runs like that here at Shelburne. And if Costa Plenty could do something like that, and Ian touched on him, well, he's got a big chance. But Ian, another really competitive race, and cases to be made probably for most of the runners.
Yeah, cases to be made for a number of them, and real early speed in this race. Mucky Harbour, great. Some really good early pace form down the likes of Cork and Thurles. 3 Glenquan Pat, he is stepping up in grade after last week's victory. He showed fine early boot, so too Costa Plenty. Well, he's a real professional, an absolute lightning starter. He's 205, 203, 202 in his card, so it's there in black and white. 5 Portlamont Flash won well last week. He chased Balnakill Jet into the third bend, who actually did win the sprint last night, and this fellow stayed strongly to beat him, but he also went up reasonably well. The fact that Balnakill Jet led him isn't something to beat him with. And out in 6, Awesome Blue, well, he stayed on to win last time, but my choice is actually 1 Burgess Glengar. I think he wants a bit further. He checked off the second bend last week, lost a bit of momentum, and he's not beaten far by Jazz Toes. He really did catch my eye in the Juvenile Classic. I think there's a big run in this fellow, and perhaps in Trap 1 tonight he's in the perfect position to make the most of his draw, and hopefully they won't get too far clear of him and he will be able to pick them up. But he'd be my choice, Burgess Glengar.
Okay, the Greyhounds they still haven't been called to traps for the next year at Shelburne, so you've had a little bit of time to reflect on the 2 semi-finals of the Limerick Oaks, and we've got the trap draw. Azabi in 3, Scooby Princess in trap 6. What's your take ahead of the big one next week?
I think if any of the 6 runners that were inside Siege wanted to be out there, it's probably Scooby Princess. You saw her tonight from trap 1. She was out in 4, within 50 yards. I wouldn't be too concerned by the draw for either of them. Azabi is probably going to go up fast and perhaps hit the front in the early yards. But Scooby Princess, she won't be too far off the pace. And, you saw tonight the pace she has. She's an exceptional performer. She'll be hard enough to stop. But, it's one of those races where you just wouldn't be surprised if something else took a flyer and got involved. Cracking race to look forward to at Limerick next Saturday night. Meanwhile, here at Shelburne Park for this 10th race, the GR Ireland.ie Open 525. My choice again is 1 Burgess Glengar. We're just about 30 seconds away before this one. Rob, any final thoughts?
Yeah, as you said, it's a really good race. Just I thought Glenquan Pat, obviously, regardless of how the litter are going, which is a bonus, but looks really progressive, looks to be improving, and if something can do 28.40 tonight, I think it might be him.
Yeah, thanks for that, Rob. The runners now in traps for the GRIreland.ie Open 525. 1 Burgess Glengar, 2 Mucky Harbour, 3 Glenquan Pat, 4 Costa Plenty, 5 Portamont Flash, and 6 Awesome Blue. And racing, good start by 4 Costa Plenty, but 1 Burgess Glengar goes up fast up the inside and leads on the opening turn. I wasn't expecting that, but he's on now by 2 lengths to in second 2 Mucky Harbour. Then comes 4 Costa Plenty, but 1 Burgess Glengar is on now by 4 lengths to in second 2 Mucky Harbour. 6 improves Awesome Blue from the back to challenge for third, but 1 Burgess Glengar continues to lead around the bottom 2 bends. 2 Mucky Harbour running a fine race in second spot, but Burgess Glengar, a good winner for Sheila Spillane and JJ Fennelly. Second was 2 Mucky Harbour, and the winning time, it's quick, predictably quick, 28-29. Burgess Glengar, once he hit the front early, well, it was over.
Yeah, well, if you want to break your duck, you do it in 28-29, because that was scintillating stuff from Burgess Glengar. Was still a maiden after 5 starts, but got a flyer from Traps, and once it led off the opening 2 bends, it wasn't going to be caught. We've seen him run well in defeat when he was staying on from the back, so he absolutely flew from Traps, and it was the real Burgess Glengar. And of course, it's another winner for Patsy Sabbath tonight. But absolutely scintillating stuff, and it's the fastest time of the night as well in 28-29. Obviously, it's later on in the night, so that would suggest that the track maybe is running as well as it has been all night. But Ian, you said you weren't expecting him to get a flyer, but you were probably expecting him to go close. That was brilliant.
He is a strong running greyhound. As I said, he caught the eye on a couple of occasions down in Tralee in the Juvenile Classic, and tonight, Costa Plenty is a professional. He absolutely rockets to the bend, and Burgess Glengar, comfortably held him, went on about his business. Mucky Harbour does run a fine race in second spot, but Burgess Glengar was just simply too good for his rivals here. Son of Patsy Sabbath, we've seen a few of them running very well tonight, the Patsy Sabbaths, but out of Glengar Badminton, very well bred. He's only in August 19. He has a very bright future, have no doubt, and if he continues to trap like this, well, just don't be surprised if he really rattles some cages in the next few months, because he really does have the pace and the power to be a big player on the big stage, and he's certainly a dog I'll be keeping an eye on, Burgess Glengar.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be a regular here at Shelburne, I'd say, over the next number of Saturday nights. Next up at Limerick is race 10. It's the A2525, and it's a race that plenty have got chances. So let's get down to Emma and see if she managed to work out race 10 for us.
Rob, another little tricky affair to pick out, that's for sure. The temperatures are beginning to drop here. It's getting a little cold, so you'll see the dogs out on parade very shortly, all wrapped up in their jackets. My vote is going to go to trap 6 here, though. Rock Along Rocket to lead home Aaron's Best in trap 5. But I'll hand you over to Mal for our parade.
Sean Hayes of Clarina, Minon Flyer, number 1. For Aoife O'Keefe in Waterford, Cunninger Honey. As we move on to Ger Cremin of Newcastle West, who trains Melrose Brandy. David Kennedy and the Sid Syndicate of Trim, Trinity Siddiqa. Number 5, Aaron's Best, Donald Cooney for Richard Phelan. And the last of the runners, Michael McNamara, has Rock Along Rocket. That's the lineup complete for the Barking Buzz app A2525.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mal. It's our 10th race in A2525, and our 3 to follow. We're going to start with Trap 4, which is Trinity Siddiqa for the Sid Syndicate in Trim County Meath. A 2-time winner from 4 starts. Those 2 wins were the only time that this son of Droopy Sydney actually got a clear run. He is making his Limerick debut tonight, but I think he's the one. If we're going to get a good run, Trinity Siddiqa might be the greyhound to produce that. Next up is Aaron's Best, one of 2 females in the lineup for Richard Phelan and Donald Cooney. She's managed to win 1 from 3 starts. She's one of 2 Limerick regulars in this race, and she ran really well in defeat last week, so if she can improve slightly on that, she must have a big chance. And then the last, and this is the one that Emma's keen on, is Rock Along Rocket in the Stripes from Michael McNamara, a 1-time winner from 5 starts, but this lad is all about early pace. He very rarely runs a bad race, and there's no doubt the draw is in his favour, so it's 4 for me. But Emma, you said Rock Along Rocket is the one for you, and as we've already said, he's got a lot in his favour here.
Definitely, Rob. Look, Rock Along Rocket contested 2 rounds at the Kirby, finished second to the likes of Romeo Magico in round 1, and look, this is a huge downgrade tonight in my opinion. I think if he's fast away, he can get the clear run, and look, he does have good early, and he does have local knowledge of the track, so I said I would take a chance on him. But going back to Minuan Flyer in Trap 1, a good winner in A2 company around Cork, and challenged the winner very well to get up to win. Has the draw he wants on the rail, and will be looking for a quick start, that's for sure. Cunningar Honey, we saw her sister run earlier in the Oaks, of course, and Boom Time, her mother, throws a very quick type dog. The second runner for Aoife O'Keefe, of course, and one last time out here in Limerick where she was very quick away. A 4:08 split in Youghal is serious, and if she can repeat that, well, she can definitely get herself in front going to that first bend. Milrose Brandy came through the grades nicely, back to A2 class, only has the one look around Limerick though, so that would be my concern. In Galway he broke very well and dived for the fence, and the question is, will he do a similar thing tonight, diving for the fence? Trinity Sadiqa goes in Trap 4, a comfortable winner in A4 company in Clonmel. He is 81 pounds, a very big dog. 2 from 4 though, very good strike rate there, and he's very young, so he will be progressing, that's for sure. And he probably will look for the rails also, he might edge in a little bit, but he can definitely challenge them, that's for sure. Aaron's Best goes from Trap 5 for the locals. Donal Cooney. Ballymac Best, we know him for producing early pace type dogs. Just was in with Blast Off Bendon in A4 last time out, and he just got away on him. Look, he's coming up in grade here tonight, Aaron's Best, but she looks a nice young lady and she can start and stay. But I'm going to stick with Rock Along Rocket. Definitely has the form from the Kirby to go behind it. I think if he can take a flyer, well then you never know, it might get the clearest run as the middle seed here in 6. They're just about to be loaded. As I said earlier, it is a little bit cold, but they won't mind, that's for sure. The last one is just loaded. We're about to see the flag be waved, and I'll hand you over to Mal for our commentary.
We're all set to go for race 10 and level away 3 is well away Milrose Brandy, but Rock Along Rocket is getting into full stride now and is going to lead around the opening 2 bends. So Rock Along Rocket leads by a couple of lengths from Milrose Brandy. Then we've got Trinity Sidica, who's bidding to make it 3 from 5 and might have a big chance now ending into the 3rd bend, and Trinity Sidica goes for the gap. Does he get it? He might just have taken it up from 3 Milrose Brandy, and that was a proper surge of pace from Trinity Sidica, and off the final bend he leads from Milrose Brandy, but Trinity Sidica's just going to do enough. And that move at the 3rd bend proved vital, because in the end it was just about enough for Trinity Sidica. He's made it 3 wins from 5 starts, and he's done it in really brave fashion, and he's done it as well in a winning time of 28.77. So Trinity Sidica the winner for the Sid Syndicate in Trim, County Meath. That's now 3 from 5, and he looks as though he's a greyhound, very much going places. We'll see again. Emma's selection, Rock Along Rocket, came away, and once he led around the opening 2 bends, having run in the Kirby, it looked as though he was probably going to win, but just at this stage he was being challenged by Milrose Brandy, and on the outside Trinity Sidica, who at this stage spots a gap, goes for the gap, and somehow manages to get it. When you go for a gap at the 3rd bend with 2 of the greyhounds, generally the middle dog loses out, so he's done wonders to come through that, and off the final bend he was just always holding Milrose Brandy. In the end, Minnow Flyer got up for 3rd, and Rock Along Rocket, after a good start, he's probably just been a little bit disappointing. He had no excuses tonight. He managed to lead around the opening 2 bends, and just maybe it's a case that he might not be up to the grade, but it was a race that he looked like he was capable of winning, Emma. Certainly before the race, and when he led around the opening 2 bends, you were probably fairly hopeful he was going to get the job done.
Yeah, Rob, look, as my selection, when I saw him break level with Trap 3 Milrose Brandy, I thought he'd be in with a great shot. Took a flyer to the first turn, but look, maybe something just went a little bit wrong with him tonight, but full credit to our winner, Trinity Sadiqa. Had to show very good bravery to get that run there at the 3rd bend. Taking the gap like that isn't easy, but he showed great determination to hit the front, take the gap and win. Of course, Milrose Brandy and Minuan Flyer gave good chase, but it was ultimately going to be Trinity Sadiqa's race. And yeah, brilliant display, good bravery, and if every dog had that type of bravery, we wouldn't be doing too bad, Rob, would we?
Yeah, he was very courageous at the third bend, and he looks like he's a greyhound going places. We've still got 2 more races to come here at Shelburne Park, and we've got 2 more races at Limerick. We'll just recap on what's happened at Limerick if you're just joining us, because it's been a brilliant night's racing, obviously, at both venues. But the 2 semi-finals of the SAS Limerick Oaks were won by Azabi, who won the first semi-final in 28:34. She was brilliant. She came out fairly well, and once she managed to lead around the opening 2 bends, it was a case of how far, and she managed to win in 28:34. After she done that, we were presuming she was going to be favoured for next week's final, but then stepped up Scooby Princess, and after about 5 strides it was all over, because she got a flyer from trap 1. She moved a little bit to her right, but it was never really a worry for her, and she went 3 lengths quicker in 28:13. Remember, she got to the semi-final of the Irish Greyhound Derby last year. She won on the Winter Festival night here at Shelburne Park, and we know she can do it from all traps, and that's significant because Emma gave us the trap draw for next week's final, and we'll just reiterate that trap draw if you didn't hear it a little bit earlier. Miss Minnie Mall, she actually got in as a reserve tonight and she qualified. She's in trap 1. Ballymacorna is in trap 2. Azabi, one of the semi-final winners, is in trap 3. Nutty Gem is in trap 4. Long Isabel is in trap 5, and Scooby Princess is in trap 6. 6 inside seeds. We saw it in the Gold Cup final earlier in the year when we had 6 inside seeds, and on that occasion Knockaboola Sid won from trap 6. Scooby Princess is in trap 6 in next week's SAS Limerick Oaks final. We can't wait, and remember, it's going to be live on Talking Dogs TV. Ian, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. On parade now for this 11th race. The runners for the 11th race, the upcoming events open 5:25. 1 Cragganmore, a lightly raced son of Top Honcho and Leesy Lindsay for Francie Murray and Howard Wallace. A fine run last time, 28:36. Clearly a bright prospect. 2 Fast Fit Paddy. This fellow's been in tremendous form of late. 3 wins from 8. Declan McDonough already has a winner here tonight, bidding for a double owned by John Quinn, Paul Horrigan, son of Ballymacvic. 3 is Gaytime Milo. Graham Holland for Stephanie O'Connell, talented son of Gaytime Hawk, and Gaytime Derval has some good form around here in the past. 4 is Razzle Dazzle Monarch, Neelis O'Connell for the Kildare Kilcolgan Syndicate, a son of Makeshift and Razzle Dazzle Peru. 12 times a scorer, never one to be dismissed. 5 is Another Dream, a dog with brilliant early speed for Mert Lahey and Pat Scully. Got back to winning ways and has returned to action last week, a son of Ballymac-Geski. Cat Girl. And out in 6 is Mairead's Grace for Joe Horde and Fraser Black, a good winner last time out, over 550 yards in 29:69. You need to be on his toes early, but this son of Lawhill Blake and Winning Impact is well housed as a wide seed. They are the runners. It's your 11th race tonight, penultimate race in the card. On the way to traps. Back to you, Rob.
Yeah, they are on their way to traps. This is an absolute cracker. This would be in place on any Saturday night in Shelburne Park. And remember, we still have loads of action to come. And remember to check out the Bark and Buzz app. It's a great way to pay for the night, great way to make a few quid. And remember, doesn't even have to be the forecast or the trios. If you just back a winner, the way we've got big price winners tonight, just backing a winner is enough to pay for the stream. But the Bark and Buzz app, if you want to make the night a little bit more fun, log on, because you'll be missing out if you don't. Let's have our look at 3 to follow for our penultimate race here at Shelburne Park. We're going to start with Cragganmore in the red jacket for Howard Wallace and Francie Murray. Managed to get off to a winner on its second time of Aston last week when winning in 28:36. Obviously steps up in grade, but is well housed, was in trap 1 last week, and if you can repeat the 206 sectional, you'd have thought he's probably going to lead around the opening 2 bends. In 2, we've got Fast Fist Paddy for John Quinn and Paul Horrick, trained by Declan McDonough. A 3-time winner from 8 starts, has clocked 28:31 and 28:92 here at Shelburne. That 28:31 is a really good run. The big question is, can he lead Cragganmore in the red jacket? And then we come to 3, which could be the most likely winner. Gaytime Milo for Stephanie O'Connell and Graham Holland. This is a proper greyhound. A brilliant 16:15 trial at Clonmel he's got in his car. That was his recent run. He's done a 31:02 over the 5:75 trip here at Shelburne Park. He's 4 from 12. The impression is we haven't seen the best yet from Gaytime Milo, as good as he's been in a couple of his runs. And Graham Holland, he's yet to be on the mark here tonight at Shelburne. He's had 5 runners in total. It'll be unknown for Graham to come to Shelburne and not go away with a winner. So it's Gaytime Milo for me, Ian. What's it for you?
I can see the case for Gaytime Milo. He is returning after a bit of a layoff, however. He's been off for about 4 months at this point. His trials are good, however, although there's no 4-bend trial there to really sort of ignite the interest. But I did like Fast Fit Paddy. He won a confined competition here in fine style in April. He's a dog with his good trapping ability. He moves strongly throughout, and just he was going forward a lot. It's just one of those races where it's tough to pick a winner. 5 Another Dream can really rock it to the bend. I think if 4 does anything, Razzle Dazzle Monarch, he's going to cut inwards. So, Another Dream might get a clear run up the outside, and and another one I haven't mentioned is Cragan Moore. He's well housed in the fence. He could be anything. 28-36 last time. I'm not going to sit in the fence. I'll go with 2 Fast Fit Paddy, but it's wide open. Runners in traps now for this 11th race. The upcoming events open 5-2-5. 1 Cragan Moore, 2 Fast Fit Paddy, 3 Gate Time Milo, 4 Razzle Dazzle Monarch, 5 Another Dream, and 6 Mairead's Grace. The hair up behind traps. Racing, good start by 3 in the middle. Gate Time Milo leads into the opening turn. Up the inside, 1 Cragan Moore trying to force his way through. Can't get through, and 4 goes second. Razzle Dazzle Monarch, but it's 3 Gate Time Milo. Will he need the run? We'll soon find out, because he's got the wrong dog in behind him. Razzle Dazzle Monarch charging into that third bend. Hits the front. 1 Cragan Moore again showing big pace, but forced to check. 3 Gate Time Milo remains second, but 4 Razzle Dazzle Monarch staying on stoutly to the line wins from 3 Gate Time Milo, and 6 in third, Mairead's Grace. The winning time, 28-57. Razzle Dazzle Monarch for Neelis O'Connell and the Kildare-Kilcolgan Syndicate.
Dazzle Monarch, indeed. I know a couple of lads who own Razzle Dazzle Monarch, and if they're watching from County Kildare, they'll be fairly happy, because any time they were allowed to watch this lad race, they were up here cheering him on. They're a great bunch of lads. But as Ian said, once he tracked Gate Time Milo, we'll see it here now. It was always probably going to be a case of Razzle Dazzle Monarch winning. It was 11 on break. In fairness to Gate Time Milo, he showed really good early pace, but he's just clashed with Cragan Moore, which probably hasn't done him any favours. It probably hasn't cost him the race, because in the end, Razzle Dazzle Monarch has picked him up at the third bend, and this is where he challenges just on the inside of Gate Time Milo, and once he led Gate Time Milo, it was only going to be a matter of how far for Razzle Dazzle Monarch, and he stayed on well. Gate Time Milo in his first run back, Ian said it in commentary, he's run really well, and he'll come on an awful lot from that, and Mairead's Grace has picked up the pieces to finish third. But Ian, Razzle Dazzle Monarch, he's a greyhound who runs most Saturday nights here at Shelburne Park. He was running a lot last year, and it's great to see regulars, especially on a Saturday night, get that win, whether it's overdue or not.
13 wins in his career from 45 starts, so a fine strike rate. But the real eye catcher for me was Cragan Moore. Didn't come away flying, but did show good early speed to challenge Gate Time Milo on the bend. Checks off, then gets going again into the third bend, is forced to check again, but trap 3 Gate Time Milo, you can tell he's going to come on a mile for this. It was his first run in nearly 4 months, and 4 Razzle Dazzle Monarch, he's been coming forward with each of his recent outings. He probably did need them himself, and he charged to the front into the third bend. You see Cragan Moore again forced to check up there at that third bend when challenging on the inside. He's one to keep an eye on in the future. He'll win plenty of races, but 4 Razzle Dazzle Monarch striding on strongly to the line. 13 times the scorer now, 12 times second, 8 times third. He's a dream to own, I'd imagine. The type of dog that when you do get a syndicate together, he's one that will provide you endless fun. Razzle Dazzle Monarch, he's doing them proud.
Yeah, he sure is. Hopefully the lads in Kildare are looking in. Right, 2 more races to come at Limerick. We have an A1 525 coming up soon. They're not quite on parade, so let's go down to Emma and get an early guide to our penultimate race in Limerick.
Million, Rob. Yeah, our second last race on the card tonight is going to be an A1. I do think there could be a mad dash to the first turn here in this A1 affair, but it's going to be trap 4 on the cards to lead home. Trap 5 Flag Race and trap 6 Spory Majestic. On the cards, I thought showed great early the last time out, winning in Limerick. Ran from lane 3 to 4, so on the run up he could ever so slightly be in the correct box, but then again he's a railer, so he could end up being on the rails. He strode out a good and comfortable winner the last time. With the smart break, he can definitely get his head in front, so I'm going to stick with trap 4 Flag Raised. He's stepping it up tonight from A2, but it was a good winner last time out. He's got brilliant travelling ability, and he is definitely showing great early from the form. Like I said, lots of early in this race, especially on the outside, and that's also to be said for Spory's Majestic out in trap 6. Should have the cleanest path as the sole wide seed tonight. Going to have to be doing things very correctly to contend with the 2 early paces on his inside, but we'll hand you over to Mal for our parade.
Monday night, E1525. for Sean de Burka and Michael Gamel. Atta by Leo, number 1. The Rallying Racing Syndicate have Rallying Night for James Kelly of Kilmeedy, Gortnacreehey Rose. On the cards is with trainer Christine Taylor. That leads us on to flag race, Michael O'Regan, Newcastle West. And 6 Spory Majestic, Patrick and Kieran Dillon, trained for them by Johnny O'Brien.
Yeah, thanks Mal, thanks Emma. 2 more races here to come at Limerick, and we're going to have our 3 to follow for our penultimate race, and we're going to start with Trap 4 on the card for Christine Taylor, of course, out of Badminton girl, who got to the 2013 Sporting Press Irish Oaks final, won by Loughnamon Bridie. But this lad's not too bad either. He's won his last 3, and he's got fine early pace, and if he can reproduce those recent sectionals on the cards, might be the Greyhound to catch from early doors. Next up is a flag raise in Trap 5 for Michael O'Regan, an 11-time winner from 37 starts. Another with fine early pace, and made all here last time to win in 28.80. Might need a slight improvement on that to win here, but most definitely comes in good form. And the last we're going to look at is the only wide seed, which is Spory Majestic for Patrick Dillon and Kieran Dillon, a 15-time winner. He's been a great servant for John O'Brien and co. He starts and he stays. He's having a 64th race tonight, and would you believe, in only 3 of those 63 previous races, they've all been at Limerick, so he's a Limerick regular, and he's one most definitely to keep an eye on, especially from halfway. So they're being called to traps for our penultimate race. Emma, we'll leave the final word to you.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, just to quickly touch on Attaboy Leo. He's a dog my dad used to train. He's been a great servant for his owner, Mike Gamel, and I can commend his temperament. He's a lovely, lovely dog. He does lack a little bit of early though, so I would worry that Rallying Night might just do him to the first bend. But I do have to give a big shout out to his brood, Razzle Dazzle Grace. I know the ladies in the Maroney household absolutely love her, so it was great to see her boy Attaboy Leo out here in one. I mentioned Rallying Night, a 28.42 on his book, of course, in a trial last year around Limerick. So he is very, very fast and should beat one to the first turn, like I said. With a clear run, you never know, because he is very, very fast. Gertna Rose flew the lids, Kirby Knight, and give good chase to Nutty Gem. But I'm going to stick with Trap 4 on the cards, and I'll hand you over to Mal for your commentary.
Attaboy Leo, Rally Night, Gortnacreehey Rose on the cards. Flag raise, Spory Majestic. 2 doesn't get away, 4 does, which is on the cards in the black jacket. Now on to the second turn from 1, Attaboy Lad. 5 flag raises in third. We're at the far stretch in the racing on Monday night, A1525. It's 4 in front, followed by 1-5, 6, 3 and 2. Trap 4 on the cards leads by 5 lengths or so on 5, flag raised as they come off the final bend. It's 4 with a comfortable lead here and will win hands down from 6 and 1. 4 on the cards for Christine Taylor. Time is 28.50.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from on the cards, and he's now made it 4 in a trot. He can't beat a Greyhound in form. As we said, he was bred to be fairly special, and that 28.50 is a personal best, and it's certainly a personal best at Limerick. He's come away well, but I suppose the fact that he's had more room heading into the opening bends as opposed to Attaboy Leo and Gertna Crow Ros was a big help, and once he led round the opening 2 bends and kicked on, it was only going to be a case of how far, and he's won in really, really good fashion, and he's a Greyhound. He might be having his 20th race, but he's most definitely a Greyhound going places, and as you see off the final bend, he's just surging clear, and it was a 1 Greyhound race from early doors. And second, it's tight between Attaboy Leo and Spory Majestic, but they were always fighting for minor honours, because on the cards, that's 4 in the trot. Emma, you know better than anybody, it's hard to beat a Greyhound in form, and when you get that winning feeling, it's hard to lose it.
Definitely. Look, the form definitely stood up, as did the breeding. I mean, on the cards came away, took an absolute flyer, had that bit of room to the first turn, and just got around that first bend unscathed, which is always a big help. And look, from there he always looked in control, and you know, the others gave good chase, but they could never really get to this lad. Like you said, brilliant form as of recent, and a very, very nice dog. But definitely one to be keeping an eye on, that's for sure, Rob.
Yeah, thanks, Emma. On the cards in really, really brilliant form, and it seems the more he races, the better he's getting. Greyhound are just leaving the Weigh-Run complex for our final race of the night here at Shelburne. I can't tell you Trap 6 is vacant, which is new in here, so we've only got a 5-dog affair for our final race, and we've got the likes of Broadstrand Ryan and Dark Devil and Owen Spice, who no doubt will be fairly popular for your doing your trio on the Barkin Buzz app. But Ian, we've got a couple of minutes to go until Greyhounds come on parade, so we'll go back to last night here at Shelburne Park when we had the Island Bridge Sprint, and we had 4 first round heats. But I don't know, for you, was it deadly big show? That was a remarkable run last night. He appears to be a greyhound, very much going places.
Yeah, it was only his 4th career start. He's made a sensational start to his career. He did a 15.91 around Clonmel, which was ridiculous on debut. Had a massive run at Thurles, and then last night here at Shelburne Park, 18.43, the 7th fastest run ever here at Shelburne Park. And when you look at some of the names ahead of him, the likes of Sycamore Dan, Cool Performance, and Arden Asul Jet on a couple of occasions, and 1 or 2 other top sprinters like Brody's Magic, but it was a special display. Now he is a bit older than his card would suggest. He's an August 18 whelp. He's obviously had a few training problems, or perhaps got held up in his training career before he made his debut. But I'll tell you something, the way he ran last night is going to take some greyhound to stop him. Now that said, he did 18.43. Balnakill Jet did an 18.51 as well. So I was pretty taking too, but no, deadly big show. He's a sprinter going places, have no doubt about it. He just seems to have it all. He's a good trapper, flies into the corner, and he stays right at the line. Yeah, I really like him.
And you say that like he said that run here at Shelburne Park inside the top 10 ever at Shelburne, and that run down in Clonmel, like I can't remember many dogs, if any, breaking the 16-second barrier. I think it's in the top 5 or 6 runs ever at Clonmel, and as you said, to do it on debut, incredible.
Yeah, it was funny enough. He was actually taking on a dog last night called Dunham Knoll, who actually broke the track record at Drumbo Park on his debut. So it can be done. Dunham Knoll has also had just a few niggles in his problems. He's relatively light to race, but I thought he actually ran well in defeat also. But just goes to show that it can be done on debut. Certainly sprinters as well. If they're sharp and ready to race, it can be done. Just greyhounds with pure, raw, unadulterated pace, and that's exactly what we saw here at Shelburne Park last night in the Island Bridge Sprint. Meanwhile, here at Shelburne Park, the runners on parade for the finale. The Talking Dogs Online TV Open 525 in a cracking contest to finish off proceedings. Broadstrand Ryan, a hugely talented son of Ballymac-Esky and Droopy's Arena for Johnny Linehan, the Ryan Drake Donovan Syndicate. He's won 3 of his 5 starts. 2 his own Spice, John Brown, Thomas O'Doherty, a son of Skywalker Puma and Coolavany Spice. 9 times a score, took off at Limerick last time. If he produces that sort of run, he'll be close. 3 is Bogger Benny, stepping up a mile in grade, but that's after posting 28.45 last time for Liam Peacock, son of Skywalker Farlow and Cloncunny Eve. 4 is Rannoch Moore, would have badly needed the run last week, showed great early speed after missing the kick, but did tie up. Tremba Francie Murray for Howard Wallace, expect him to come on considerably for last week's run. And 5 is Dark Devil, another one that took off last time out, 28.37, trained by Mert Lahey for Jim Langton. He's always looked a bit of a potential star, this fellow, Ballymac Vic and Bullrun Balladin, certainly living up to it last time out. It'd be interesting to see if he can follow up. A cracking race to finish with, just the 5 of them, new in hero and absentee from Trap 6, but a very talented 5.
Yeah, very talented quintet indeed. We're going to start our 3 to follow with Broadstrand Ryan for John Linehan. He's obviously a greyhound going places. He's won 3 from 5 starts, 28-24 at any track, let alone Shelburne Park, is scintillating stuff. He's got a 28-27 down in Tralee as well, and this looks as though it could be a good opportunity. We might get a chance to see tonight how good Broadstrand Ryan is, and remember, we had a 28-29 run here just 25 minutes ago, so the track's still running well, and if Broadstrand Ryan hits the lids, we might see the real Broadstrand Ryan tonight. Trap 2 is Own Spice for Thomas O'Doherty and John Brown, of course. We saw him win at Limerick a couple of weeks ago when he managed to win on the Conn and Annie Kirby final night. He He's shown that he can start and he can stay. He has obviously run over 600 in the past, and if he's close enough to whatever leads around the opening two bends, we know he stays well. He must have a big chance. And the last greyhound we'll give a mention to in our 3 to follow is Dark Devil for Jim Langton in Kilkenny, trained by Mert Lahia, a 9-time winner from 19 starts. He was very impressive when he won here at last time out in 28.37. The draw looks as though it's going to suit, especially now with no trap 6. And he's won 5 from his last 6 greyhounds, so you can't beat an informed greyhound. We saw it in the previous race at Limerick, and Dark Devil is most definitely an informed greyhound. And Ian, it looks as though they're starting to load.
Yeah, indeed, the loading process is underway for this 12th and final race here tonight at Shelburne Park. Again, my selection would be Broadstrand Ryan. He is very well housed. He went up very strongly in his second last start here, April 3rd. Second all the way last time out. That was a slightly disappointing run, but expect to see the real Broadstrand Ryan here tonight. All in, and there's the bell. The runners: 1 Broadstrand Ryan, 2 Own Spice, 3 Bogger Benny, 4 Rannoch Moore, and 5 is Dark Devil. The hare well on the way now for this 12th and final race. Racing, good start by 1 up the inside, Broadstrand Ryan, and 5 Dark Devil on the outer. Into the corner, it's 1 Broadstrand Ryan, 5 Dark Devil, then comes 2 and 3rd, Own Spice, but out front now, and 5 Dark Devil strides on from 1 Broadstrand Ryan and 2 and 3rd, Own Spice to the 3rd bend. 1 Broadstrand Ryan starts to hit full stride, leads in now by a length to 5 Dark Devil. 2 is closing, Own Spice, but out front, and it is trap 1 Broadstrand Ryan who's going to lead them into the home straight from in second spot. 2 Own Spice up the line. That's the way they finish. 1-2 tight for 3rd, Broadstrand Ryan. Sensational display in 28.25 for Johnny Lennon and the Ryan Drake Donovan Syndicate. Great way to cap off proceedings here at Shelburne Park.
Yeah, it sure is. We have saved the best to last. 28.25, the fastest run of the night, and it's come courtesy of Broadstrand Ryan. He's come out well, but in fairness to Dark Devil came out just as well, and he took it up off the second bend. And at this stage, I'm not too sure what Ian thought, but at this stage, I thought Dark Devil was going to make it 6 wins from 7 starts. But in fairness to Broadstrand Ryan, he's not just about early pace, because he's retaliated. He's took it up at the third bend, and he's still motoring off the final bend. When you do 28.25, you're motoring every second and every stride, and he's won, and he's a real railer as well, as we saw off the final bend. Own Spice has run well, never really a match for the winner, but he's run a really good run in defeat. But Broadstrand Ryan, Ian, we said we were hoping the real Broadstrand Ryan would stand up tonight, and I think he's answered.
Very impressive display. What I like about him since he's come to Shelburne Park, he's very much improved his trapping. He looked a real powerfully built, strong running greyhound down at Tralee, but since he's come to Shelburne Park, he's added that string to his bow. He has early speed. It's it's nothing to give up the lead to Dark Devil in the early yards, because he is a real early speedster. But Broadstrand Ryan was back in front by the third bend. They're doing 16.11 to that third bend, so maybe a length or 2 off the very, very best of that third turn. But just watch him up the home straight. He really is galloping on strongly. Own Spice is a dog who stays 5.75, 600 yards, so you'd expect him to stay on well also. Got very tight for third, but a lot to like about Broadstrand Ryan. I know he's a dog that interested a lot of men. They were trying to buy him, but I don't think the owners will be willing to sell. They are a lucky group of owners. They've had some really talented ones in the past, and they can look forward to going to war with Broadstrand Ryan in the future, because there's no question this fellow will improve for the step up to 550 yards.
Will he be in the mix for the Champion Stakes in a couple of months' time? Right, let's get to Limerick. They're on parade. The Greyhounds are parading, as you can see, for our final race of the night on Talking Dogs TV. What a night it's been, and it's the last of our 24 races. It's an A2525, Vigorous Luke's in 1, and 2 is Ballymac Mary Joe. 3 is Gorton Acrehy Blake, and 4, as you can see, is Strandhill Queen. 5 is Bright Roddock, and in 6 is Carrigmore Dizzy. So the Greyhounds are just coming on parade, and we're going to have a look at our 3 to follow on our Final race of the night. Vigorous Luke is the first we're going to have a look at for Ronnie Whites and Larry O'Farrell. He's clocked 28.69 here in the pass. He's a 4-time winner from 19 starts. He takes a significant drop in grade. As we said, he's done some really, really good runs here. He actually got to the second round of the Irish Greyhound Derby last year. He's now running an A2 class. If the real Vigorous Luke stands up, well, it's probably safe to say he's the most likely winner. That's Trap 1, Vigorous Luke. Trap 2 is Ballymac Mary Joe for Nora O'Connell and Neil O'Connell. Neil's been in pretty good form. He's already been under mark in Limerick and indeed at Shelburne Park, so his kennel's in form. She's a daughter of Vilturi and Ballymac Kai. She's a 3-time winner from 11 starts. She's some good runs at Shelburne. She can go up well, and she's also taken a step down in grade, so she's most definitely one for the shortest forecast for trios if you're doing Ballymac Mary Joe. And the third we're going to have a look at is Gorton Curry Blake. That's in the white jacket, a son of Loghill Blake. He's had a good run. He's been running in open sprints in Cork, which suggests that he might be the likely lead. In fact, he's going to be the certain leader if he hits the lids tonight. So he's probably going to lead, and if he can get a clear lead, he might be pretty hard to catch. So it's a really, really good A2. It's always good racing towards the end of the night, but this is definitely an A2, which looks better than an A2. Our 3 to follow. Gorton Craig Blake is probably going to lead, but if the real Vigorous Luke stands up, remember he was running in brilliant races less than a year ago, he could be pretty hard to catch. But Emma, for the final tip tonight from you, you've had a good night in the tipping front. What are you going to give us in the final race in Limerick?
Yeah, Rob, I'm going to be with Bright Roddick in Trap 5, a very exciting type of a youngster from a very nice litter. Of course, the Roxholm team over in England have his brother, and keep an eye out for him because he's definitely going to be a contender for the English Greyhound Derby. He's only had a very few starts, only 6 starts. Looks exciting. Definitely has a nice bit of early, but I do think he can come from off the pace too. Going back to Vigorous Luke, like you said, he is a dog with plenty of ability. He beat the likes of Rope Walk Bahoy last year in Shelburne. This is a step down. You know, he's coming back to A1, and I think he can finish strongly as well. Ballymac Mary Jo, she's a Shelburne Park regular for Neil O'Connell, and again, another step down here. She's brilliant at boxes, and she's going to be trying to claim the rail, so hopefully she can get a clean sweep into that first turn. Strandhill Queen has a nice sprint form on the card last year. Her mother is actually a sister to our own brood, Colleen and Rosie, so that's always good to see on the card. And she's known for having a nice bit of early dash, that's for sure. Craig Moore Dizzy for Patsy Coffey, the local man in Doon. He's actually living very close to myself. This lady is drawn out a little far tonight, I will admit, so I'm going to stick with Bright Roddick, the exciting youngster. A very nice litter indeed. I do like a Droopy's Roddick, so we'll stick with Bright Roddick to lead home Gertna Creehey Blake, who is also a very fast type. But we'll hand you over to Mal for your commentary.
From the inside, Vigorous Luke, Ballymac Mary Jo, Gertna Creehey Blake, Strandhill Queen, Bright Roddick, Carrigmore Dizzy. In the Slán Wallia, it's a very level break, possibly 3 Gertna Creehey Blake early on from Bright Roddick to the second.
And down into the third bend as Curtin Gray. Blake takes over from 5. Bright Roddick back in third spot. 4 Strandhill Queen tries to close.
Queen. It's 3 from 4 in third.
And up to the home straight, and it's 4 or 5 should I say. Bright Roddick comes back up the inside of Gertna Creehey Blake. 4 Strandhill Queen was absolutely flying home. A good display by the winner.
Yeah, good display by the winner, and good displays by the co-commentators as well. We're going to have a final look of our final race of the night. We did say that Trap 3, Gertna Creehey Blake, was certain to lead, and he showed his early pace pretty well to get around in front. Vigorous Luke had no luck whatsoever around the opening 2 bends. He was involved in all sorts of traffic problems, and halfway up the back it was a proper bruckle between Bright Roddick, the greyhound that Emma went for, and Gertna Creehey Blake. Gertna Creehey Blake, in fairness to him, has got back in front around the top 2 bends, but Bright Roddick, obviously a son of Droopy's Roddick, wasn't to be denied, and he's railed really, really well. It's one of those races that it could have gone either way in the closing stages, but Bright Roddick, his stamina has just come into effect, and he's got the better of Gertner Graham-Blake, has run a blinder in defeat, and it looks as though Strandhill Queen might have finished third. But Emma, you started with plenty of winners early on, and you finished with a bang.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, what a brilliant winner Bright Roddick was there. Lucky that I tipped it, to be honest. Look, Gertner Creehey-Blake always looked the likely leader, and there was a great battle there between himself and Bright Roddick down the back. Strandhill Queen, like Ian said, absolutely flying home. But yeah, a brilliant winner in Bright Roddick, fully deserved, because real very well coming home and got the job done, and that's the most important thing. What an exciting final we have to look forward to next week. Zabi in Trap 3. She ran so very well tonight. Miss Moll in 1, of course, we're going to see her flying home too. Scooby's Princess, the question is, will the draw matter to her? I can't really see it causing her much of a bother. She's already won from Trap 6 here. I was speaking to Jennifer O'Donnell a little earlier, and she's very happy with the bitch. And I don't think she's too upset about the draw either. With a bitch like Scooby's Princess, you know, she's full of pace. And look, she's definitely going to be going after favourite. But Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, it's one of those trap draws. I suppose we all wanted Scooby Princess maybe to get 6, because it was a little bit like the Conan Annie Kirby final. When the hot favourite sort of doesn't get an ideal draw, it opens it up. We saw it in the Gold Cup final. Sure, you know better than anybody, Emma, when Knockabola Sid got a Trap 6. It's funny, these finals, the more finals we have, we're getting more inside seeds in them, but yeah, it's a great final. Azabi, she's in Trap 3. It's probably not going to matter to her, but it probably just means that if Scooby Princess, she can't afford to miss it next week. I think that's the one thing out of Trap 6. If she was in Trap 1 or 2, she might afford to miss it because she might be able to turn second or third. But I think from Trap 6, she needs to ping the lids. And if she does so, well, I think we'll probably see a reproduction or something similar that we got tonight. But brilliant final. And yeah, it's going to be live on Talking Dogs TV. Ian, let's recap here at Shelburne Park. Great night racing at Shelburne Park, and we saw the 2 best runs in the final 3 races of the night, which is testament to the ground staff more than anything else, that the track was running well all along.
Yeah, track has been running well here of late, and of course, you know, they were the 3 high-class races of the night, so you'd expect them to probably be going that little bit faster. But yeah, a lot to like about the display of Broadstrand Ryan in the finale, and of course, Razzle Dazzle Monarch winning. Yeah, you know, he's a proven performer, a good guide to how the track was going. He has a 28-26 here at Shelburne Park, so it equates to his best line of form. Burgess Glengar, a dog that really is going places, much like Broadstrand Ryan, so no surprise to see them. Just while I have you, Rob, just let you know that down in Cork, the 2 semi-finals of the Clona Blades at Stud went to Sweep the Yard for Graham Holland and the Chris Houlihan trained Shomran Nate in the second heat. Skywalker Barry did qualify in second in that second heat, but that's also worth looking forward to next Saturday night down at Curraheen Park. You of course watch that on Barking Buzz and catch up with those replays in the morning. But yeah, lots happening here tonight at Shelburne Park. There was no major competition, but we still had great racing from start to finish.
Yeah, we always do here at Shelburne Park. And of course, the action started before racing because we told you that the Oaks champion Ballymacbeanie recorded that 28.35 in an official trial. It was her first official trial since she won on the Winter Festival last December. Also before racing, we had Ballydoyle Rossa clock 28.39. We had Caladriel clock 28.76. So it was a busy evening for the females, and a Knockbloy Flight recorded a time of 28.35. Ian, final word. It's an exciting time coming up in greyhound racing. Obviously, the Sporting Press Irish Oaks starts next month. We've got the English Greyhound Derby starting next month. We've got the Corn Cuchulainn and the Champion Stakes both happening in July. And that leads into the Boyle Sports Irish Greyhound Derby. It's around now that things really start to prosper in the sport.
Yeah, very much so. It's now where you know, here on a Saturday night at Shelburne Park, you sort of note 1 or 2 dogs and you'll think, oh, that has a chance in the Derby, or going to be in the Derby chance. You never mention the Produce Stakes, of course. We'll see some real stars in action in the Produce Stakes around Clonmel in the coming weeks too. So yeah, lots to look forward to, but all roads lead to Shelburne Park in August and September. You know, that's what we're in the sport for, looking forward to the Derby. And you know, much like horse racing with Cheltenham, it's all about Shelburne Park in September.
Yeah, all about Shelburne Park in September, and we're lucky to be here. Right, well, that's pretty much it. We've had a brilliant night's racing, 24 races in total, live on Talking Dog TV, and we'll be back next week. But we thank you for watching. We thank Emma down in Limerick. She's done a sterling job. We will be holding on to her. You can be pretty sure about that. I think we'll probably be holding on to Ian Fortune because he's back in his box and he was doing stellar work as he gives us a final wave there. But we want to thank you for watching, and we want to thank the backroom team because of all of that, all of those ingredients. Tonight's show and every show wouldn't happen without you. And remember, we'll be back next week when the feature will be the final of the SAS Limerick Oaks, and what a final that is going to be. But until then, stay safe and we'll catch up with you soon.